Beyond the splattered grave.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Splattered Graves. Yes, this week we did a little something drastic, folks. We have fired both Luke and Alex, and we have replaced them with, of course, Lee McCoy, the maker, the creator, the visionary behind DRUMDUMS. What's going on, sir? Thank you for joining us.
No pressure on my part. I gotta fill 4 shoes. That's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for having me here, man. It's an honor for sure.
Awesome. Yes, this was all set up by, of course, Evan here. He is the boy. He's the one. We are running his channel. If you don't know, Lee, we do like kind of a rotating channel thing with this show. We just kind of every 2 weeks switch between the 3. So
Nice.
This week we're on Evan's channel, so everything is cool there. And sir, I'm gonna let you kind of start us off then, since it's your channel. How have things been going, Evan? What's been happening in the Rockland Graves universe?
I mean, it's been busy, but it's been good. I keep winding up having to push videos back, which I hate doing, but I keep accidentally making them way longer than I intend for them to be. I think I made a massive mistake by putting Nosferatu, Midsommar, and Beau is Afraid in 1 month.
Jesus.
Because I knew I'd have a lot to say about Nosferatu,
Yeah.
and for whatever reason, I didn't think it would take me over an hour to talk about Hereditary or Midsommar and Beau is Afraid. But they're Ari Aster movies, and they're unbelievably detailed, and it is taking me a very long time. So things are getting pushed back. It's been a slow couple of weeks in terms of uploads, but they are coming, and we'll be back in the swing of things pretty soon. I got Conjuring 2 in the works right now, and getting a Barbarian video prepped as well. So there's some fun stuff coming up.
Awesome. Lee, how are things going on over on your channel, sir? What's been happening?
Yeah, man, good. Pretty steady lately. I was just talking to you guys before this about how, it kind of goes in waves. I think it goes in waves in your specific channel too, because I remember when I first started, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I'm a Halloween fanatic. And I was like, well, I'll just try that. And then that's kind of what helped my channel grow. And so you just have this idea of, okay, I'm just going to stick with this. And then eventually you're like, okay, now I want to cover the new stuff. And then you get like, I guess, certified. And so you feel like you have to cover the new stuff, but then you're like, oh man, I still kind of want to cover these deep cut type movies. So right now I'm kind of like in between things, and I'm trying to figure out what my next venture is. I was watching Evan's Midsommar video, and going into something like Midsommar, I can totally see how you could get lost in that project. And okay, now we need to end this because we're like an hour in, and I don't know. And I've had videos like that where, okay, I know this is going to be an endeavor, and I'm kind of almost intimidated jumping into it all, but you see your way through it. But then certain videos you think, oh, this will probably be 10 minutes, but then it ends up being freaking 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So
that's Luke and I for basically every review that's for a new movie. We call them raw reactions because we just tend to ramble, and it's like, okay, this is going to be a short 10-minute, 15-minute review. 25 minutes anytime we say that out loud, guaranteed.
Oh yeah, so, especially if you have somebody to bounce stuff off of and you both have maybe different opinions, it feels like that conversation can go on for.
Then you got to flesh out 2 whole points of view.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, it's interesting you say that it was because I also started my channel because I'm a Halloween fanatic. And I started it because of the same movie that I found your channel through, which was Halloween Kills. I found your channel when you were covering Halloween Kills leading up to that. And that was why I started my channel, because I was so excited for Kills that I knew I would just be annoying everyone around me with how much I wanted to talk about it. So I was like, I need an outlet.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, I'm like, I need an outlet to vent about this. Like, I'm still talking about horror just as much as I would be. I'm just annoying the people around me less with it now, which is...
I found that Halloween specifically annoys people. People get really riled up about that franchise. And that, before I started doing my channel, I just thought Halloween was this small little franchise. I mean, I knew it was big, but I didn't know that the internet went crazy over it. And then the David Gordon Green trilogy
It is a
ramped up.
feral fan base.
Yeah, it's insane. And you can get fed up with your own favorite franchise eventually, because there's some people out there, they just take this shit way too seriously. And for me to say that is something.
Yeah.
But you get freaking almost death threats, and you get called horrible names because of a movie. And Halloween Kills, man, that brings back memories, because that was, COVID happened, and then everybody was kind of like, oh shit, what's going to happen? And then they pushed it back a year after this big announcement of 2 movies, and it was pretty wild. And it's kind of interesting after the dust has settled, and I guess what the reaction to the trilogy is after everything. I guess that's a good question for you guys. Like, what is your overall opinion of the trilogy as a whole? And Evan's like, oh shit, there we go.
We have talked lots about it, but it has been a little while since we've talked about the trilogy, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, at least between us, yeah, and Luke and I haven't talked about it nearly as much as we used to. Guaranteed, the first year we were really like starting to get viewers and stuff was when Halloween Ends came out. So
Well,
it was like,
we're 3 years out from Ends.
yeah.
Dylan,
You want me to go first? I mean, I think like for the most part, like it's about where it's always been. I recently rewatched all 3 of them. I think just for some reason I got a hankering to watch them. I think when I got the Steelbook last January or whenever I picked that up. And I went through them again, and I think like overall I've softened on 2018 quite a bit. I was really harsh on that movie when it first came out, and this is before I was even doing YouTube. Just Luke and I went to the theater, and we just were expecting so much more out of it. And I think there were just a couple of key moments that really hurt it for me. Obviously, the Dr. Sartain wearing the mask and everything was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
The humor was a little bit awkward. I guess I just built up this image of what this movie was going to be in my head for so long. That way, when I went into Kills, I was expecting, it to be pretty terrible. I was just like, all right, I'm going to ride this out because I'm a horror fan. I'm a Halloween fan. I'm going to be here day one regardless. And I was pleasantly surprised. I really loved Kills. I still think it's the highlight for me. Yes, it's got goofy moments. Yes, the whole Evil Dies Tonight thing's a little goofy. But overall, I think that Michael's a lot of fun. I love exploring Haddonfield. I love seeing all these different characters. And I thought the humor works for me a little bit more. It kind of, as time has gone on, I've softened to that as well. Halloween Ends, I've always said, I think would have been a better idea for a 4th film. If they wanted to like continue it. I think that we should have just not pivoted as hard. We're going to be talking about Rohan Campbell a little bit. Yeah. I really like him as an actor. I think he's about to get his biggest break with Silent Night, Deadly Night. I think he's a perfect actor for that. And I think just Halloween Ends to me tends to be, even though it took some of the biggest swings of the 3, it just tends to be the one I look back on the least. I don't know. It doesn't stick with me. And I know that's very different from the 3 of you or the 2 of you here. So it's like, that's just where I sit with it. But overall, I'm happy that it exists. It's another take on the Halloween franchise. I'll be talking about them now, and I'll be talking about them when the next trilogy, TV series, whatever it ends up being, comes out. They are a part of my horror DNA.
You said something interesting there about it. It feels like the 4th movie, because I do agree with that. Like, I think I even said in one of my videos that it doesn't feel like part 3. It feels like a coda. It feels like Halloween Kills, the way that movie wrapped up and ended, that felt like a fitting conclusion to a trilogy, if it was a trilogy. And then Halloween Ends feels like, okay, we have this other idea that doesn't really jive with what we've just explored. But it's kind of like a what if. Okay, now that Myers is done, what if the evil transferred to somebody else? And I think when I even like said that in one of my videos, I had a few people say, you know what? Now when I watch Ends, I kind of look at it like that. I don't look at it as the closing part of a trilogy. I look at it as, okay, a side quest almost.
And one thing I want to say, and then I'll let you guys say your piece, because I don't want to just get on my soapbox about it. But like, I just think overall, like, that's a really great way to look at it. And I think that if we just would have changed a handful of things in this trilogy, and I'm sorry, but like, I know everybody, especially creators in movie spaces, are like, we need different stuff. We need original stuff. I think they would have been better off just doing this trilogy, giving everybody what we expected with the Laurie versus Michael, just extending it out even more. yes, some people would have shit on it, but then if you would have followed up with Halloween Ends and Corey Cunningham was a character from whether it was Halloween Ends or I think he should have been introduced in Halloween 2018 and he could have been somebody we just saw in the background or even just bumped into a couple times. If you would have done those two things and then just made the story of Halloween Ends, like you said, a fourth film or a coda or something to follow up, you know how awesome that would have been to have satisfied both sides. Like you would have had to taken the shit on Halloween Ends anyway, just because you'd have those people being like, oh, it's just the same thing. But to be like, dude, like, yeah, let's do it. Like, let's just do this trilogy, give those people what they want, close the door, and then the evil transfers. We could have had a whole new trilogy after that, but unfortunately, they I think they changed a little too much with their little break between COVID and all that stuff. I think they felt like they needed to refresh some things. Yeah, agreed.
No, that's fair. I have a fairly different take on it. I mean, I put up an hour plus long video talking about how much I love Halloween Ends. So like, I've had some controversial opinions about this trilogy for sure. But like when 2018 came out, actually before that, there's not a single movie in this franchise that I can say I don't like, even if I think some of them are dog shit. I love all of the Halloween movies.
You watch them. It's the same thing with me with Friday the 13th. I watch all of them. Like
it's my favorite horror franchise. Like I even Halloween Resurrection and Halloween 5, which are some of my least favorites, I have rewatched many times.
Definitely, especially 5.
Yeah. I think I put 5 at the bottom of my list when I ranked them back in after Ends came out, but I've still watched it like tons of times because it's Halloween. It's Michael Myers. I don't care.
I think I grew up around that time of like the AMC. Well, I know AMC Fear Fest was big. So, but like just having cable TV and those movies, because there was a long time where it's like, yeah, I wanted to know who Michael Myers and Jason were and everything, but like I wasn't allowed to watch those like unrated or R-rated versions. But AMC Sci-Fi Channel, those were the perfect outlet. So yeah, I got to see them chopped to shit. But when you're watching those, you're watching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all day. So it's just kind of like, I think that's why those movies have stuck with me like that, because I feel the exact same way, Evan. It's like I'll watch part 5 even though it's terrible. I'll watch part 6 even though I don't like it. It's like it is what it is.
And I love listening to Lee talk about part 6.
That's my baby.
I know. Yeah.
No, but what you were saying is like it seems like they keep finding new generations, and every generation has their story about when they were a child and they discovered one of these movies. And for me, it was Friday the 13th. I remember seeing those little TV spots on my 19-inch TV or whatever it was back in the early 80s. And I remember when it seemed like every year you had Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th part 2, Friday the 13th part 3. And I would always see the TV spots. And I was just, a little freaking, 8-year-old kid at the time. And just the TV spots freaked me out. The music freaked me out. They showed some like creepy stuff in the TV spots. And I used to think, for some reason, when we're kids, we have these weird, vivid imaginations. And for some reason, Pamela Voorhees, there's a scene where she's fighting Alice at the end. And I could swear when I was a kid, I was like, why is her blood black? For some reason, I thought her blood, we have the weirdest imaginations when we're kids, but I look back at that. And why did I think her blood was black? But for some reason that made it creepier to me.
I did the same thing with Stephen King's It, the TV miniseries. I thought when he came up out of the drain as a kid, that traumatized me. I thought that scene ended with just his head in the drain and him just spinning around gargling blood.
Yeah.
Nope. My dad like argued with me about that one day when I was a little older. He's just like, Dylan, you got to rewatch the movie. That's not how that scene goes. And I'm like, no, it was terrifying. It was awful. And it's like, no, it is. Am I lagging really bad, like with my audio, or just
your
my video?
Is fine. Your video is a little jumpy.
I'll live with
a little
that.
jumpy, but it's not like
no. It just goes to show like how impactful those movies are, like psychologically. Where like back when Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out and everyone was like, it's the goriest thing you'll ever watch. And people remember Texas Chainsaw Massacre as a super gory movie. But if you sit down and watch it, there is barely any blood in that movie at all.
Yeah.
It's just a testament to how psychologically tormenting that movie is that people walk away from it remembering it as much more graphic than it actually is.
Yeah, when you see a character walk in that house in the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you almost form in your mind what you think the inside of that house is going to be. and it's like the dirtiest, nastiest thing you can possibly imagine. And
Yeah.
it is kind of that when they get in there and you see, all the bones all over the place and feathers and just nothing looks organized. Everything just looks
Yeah.
disarray. And so amidst all that, you might think, especially when he's like hanging the young girl up on the hook,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
swear that you see blood everywhere. But then when you go back and watch it and you really, freeze frame, there's barely any blood. You're right.
Yeah.
Same
Well,
with Halloween. Like the
yeah.
first Halloween you think is so graphic. Like you always think about like when he stacks the dead bodies at the end with the tombstone and everything on the bed. It's like I
Super
feel like I'm
small
seeing
amount of
so
blood.
much more blood than I am. It's like, no,
Yeah.
it's just what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, Texas Chainsaw is an interesting one because, like, all these movies, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Elm Street, whatever, I love them all. None of them ever really scared me. Texas
Yeah.
Chainsaw Massacre still scares me when I watch it. And I feel like that movie has this just unbelievably like sickening feel to it that
Mhm.
always gets under my skin. It's awesome.
It
love
feels like almost like a snuff film when you watch
Totally.
it for the first time. It just
Yeah.
feels so underground and almost like this movie shouldn't exist. Like
Yeah.
somebody found this in an abandoned freaking shack somewhere, and somehow it got out. That's what the first. So I always get in this argument with people, just on a friendly debate, when they say that the remake is the better movie than the original, and I'm like, do you even realize what you're saying right now?
No, I
Because
know
of
a
how
lot of people love
important the
that, but yeah.
original is. But no, I get it. From an entertainment standpoint, yes, it's probably the better movie for sure. But they're just so. I think what it is too is that they're so different. And to give kudos to the remake, at least they didn't try to copy the original. They did their own thing, and so it kind of created a whole new fan base for the franchise.
And what I find so interesting with the original too is like it's gritty and it's nasty and it's gross and it feels raw and like a snuff film, but there's also this like elegance to the way that they film it. Like at points, it looks and feels like a fairy tale.
Yeah,
Like it's really cool. I mean, you have that iconic shot of her walking up to the house and they're following right behind. It's like this is beautiful. This looks
Beautiful.
like something it's such a cool blend of something that's really gritty and nasty, but also really elegantly crafted.
It's like they're saying, okay, we're going to go insane here, but every now and then we're going to stop and we're actually going to be more cinematic.
Yeah.
And so that way we can kind of wink at you and say, hey guys, we know what we're doing here, but we still want to kind of freak you out.
Yeah.
And I think Tobe Hooper was the perfect director to do stuff like that. I think a lot of his movies were like that, where, like The Funhouse.
Love Funhouse.
Where you'd have some really fun cinematic moments, but then it would just go out of left field and somebody would do something like the young girl that like bounces into frame and she starts screaming and spinning around, and it's like, oh, okay, this is a horror movie. We have to kind of sidestep ourselves a little bit.
I realize I got horrifically off track with what we were actually talking about.
I know. I do
That's
want to
my fault.
I do want to mention
No.
something though, because that was a great point about just how cinematic the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is because I feel like, and I feel like I've had this conversation many times since I rewatched Exorcist, Evan, but like I've said this about The Exorcist, The Omen, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre is another great example of like, I hate to be this guy, but like in the 70s, I really think that a lot of these iconic horror films were like not really looked at as, oh, we have to try to live up to horror films. We are like, now everybody makes a movie. It's like, man, I want to make my Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I want to make this. They're like, I just want to make a good movie. Like, I just want to tell this story.
Well,
and I feel like we need to start looking more into that. Cause like that's why like Robert Eggers, Ari Aster, Jordan Peele, even these people who are like pursuing these stories, it's because they're not trying to live up to anything. They're just trying to tell a new freaky story.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like the Exorcist, like Friedkin wasn't a horror director. He made mostly crime thrillers.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy who made The Omen made Superman 1 and 2, like, and the Goonies. Like, those don't feel like the same movies. Like,
and like, with Hereditary, like Aster made it very clear. He's like, I wasn't setting out to make a horror movie. He was just telling a family drama and using the platform of horror to make it visceral.
Yeah, you're onto something there, because as an adult, I find things that scare me aren't necessarily horror. It's more
Oh, yeah.
real life. And to give you an example, like the movie about the band Mayhem that came out, Lords of Chaos.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. You go into that movie, I'm going to watch a music biopic. And by the end of the movie and the horrific events that transpire, I felt really like, I guess I felt kind of, scared, terrified.
Yeah, it's
from
like
you
a
just kind of,
psychological thriller
it's
by
a
the end of it.
psychological type thing, like because that this really truly happened in real life, and the way it was directed, it wasn't directed like in a fantastical way. It was more of a real, like you're literally watching through a window a murder happen. That's what it felt. It wasn't Michael Myers stalking somebody and shoving a shotgun through their stomach. It was real. And that, I find that that's the stuff that scares me more these days. Rarely, if ever, will a new, new franchise horror movie like Freddy, Michael, Jason scare me these days.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, those are just, it's like Terrifier doesn't scare me. Terrifier is exciting and fun, and
fun.
it's slasher
fun.
stuff. That's the same way I feel about that. But I agree with you. Like, that's why I think like the Disturbing series, the way that I started doing it with like films I would never watch again or stuff like that, which is mostly just titles for the sake of clicks. But like a lot of these movies I'm talking about that are really rough, it's not the super gross movies, it's not the super gory ones. The ones that really hit me are like, I think the last one I did where I talked about like The Descendants, that George Clooney movie from 2011. It's literally dealing with kids' parents in hospice. My mother was in hospice at the time the movie came out.
Yeah.
It has stuck with me, even though some people might say that movie's like not all that great. I'm like, that is a movie that has stuck with me because I can identify with that. I've experienced that, and I know the terror of being a kid in that moment. So it's like, those are the movies that I agree. Those are more scary. These are more like I can be scared. I can have fun, but it's like, it's popcorn. It's candy. It's like, I'm still enjoying myself.
I mean, the movie that left me the most shaken recently wasn't even a horror movie. Eddington was that was an unsettling movie. Like I walked
Dude,
out.
I need to see that so bad. I've been dying to see Eddington.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Dylan about it yet. We may touch on it briefly just because I want to know what he thought about it. I loved it.
I'm curious.
It was garbage. Terrible movie.
I'm one of those weirdos who loves Beau is Afraid. Like I love everything Ari Aster has done so far.
Yeah.
Like, I can't rank them. They're all up at the top there for me. Eddington is right there with them. But yeah, like it wasn't a horror movie, but the way that it approached some of its subject matter got.
Yeah, I know it's about COVID and
it's about a lot of stuff.
Ari Aster.
Yeah. So Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was interesting the way you were talking about like structurally the way you can think about it as, with ends being sort of this side thing. I think about ends less as like a side quest than I do. This is how I think about this Halloween timeline, which is my personal favorite timeline in the franchise. You have the original Halloween, which is like the myth. That's the ghost story that kids tell each other on Halloween night. And then you have 2018, which is like a mostly grounded return of this guy who's been locked up for 40 years waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Kills is what happens when you try to light the boogeyman on fire. And it's this final explosion of fire. It's the final night of Michael Myers. And you get this just gloves off look at the boogeyman. That final thing of him killing the mob, like the fact that they shot that on a soundstage and it's all just black in the background makes it feel like these people are like sucked into this empty void that Michael creates. And to me, Kills is the end of Michael's story. So like that's where the boogeyman finishes. And then Ends is an epilogue that is literally just exploring what makes Michael how he is without demystifying Michael Myers as a character specifically, which I thought was really interesting because these movies have tried to explore the nature of Michael many times, but in doing so, they keep messing with what makes Michael special. By using Corey as a vessel to explore those things, I think that this trilogy avoided demystifying Michael while still getting to explore that stuff in a cool way. So you're getting this like reflection on the aftermath of things. So you have the myth, the return, the final night of the boogeyman, and then this like reflective epilogue. And that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. It's a very disjointed trilogy, and Like Corey, absolutely. I would have loved to see him set up in 2018, but the reality is they didn't plan this out.
Yeah, they didn't.
So that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But that's how I look at it, and I love the trilogy from that perspective.
I think every franchise does this though, especially the big ones. They have a chapter that kind of veers off, like you can look at Friday with part 5, and even Jason Goes to Hell kind of veers off. It's just different. And then you get to Nightmare, you got New Nightmare that's different. So
Yeah.
I don't, the reaction to Ends, the sheer like shock and vitriol and anger to the movie when we're all genre fans and we know this stuff happens. And I actually think it's kind of needed to shake things up in every franchise. If you keep going there, especially when you've done freaking 12 movies, 13 movies, do you want to go down the same path and tell the exact same story every time? I love when a director says, you know what, let's try something completely bonkers. And I'm like, oh, now you have my interest. So when they were ramping up Ends, and I heard these rumblings about this character Corey, I immediately was like, oh shit, I'm in now because what are they going to do after Kills, right? That was my thing. Like, is Ends going to be like a lot of third parts, chapters where it's kind of just like, I hate to say it, Return of the Jedi is not nearly as good as Empire Strikes Back. It's just not for me. Because they're kind of going down a similar path.
Sure.
So, yeah, I love when they shake things up, and I was kind of surprised by the reaction to Ends. And I'll even say this, when we talk to people online, like I talk to you guys, I think, yeah, you see people that don't like Ends, but you see a lot of people that love Ends too. When every single person that I've talked to in my real life that has seen Ends, aside from my wife, of course, they've seemed to kind of hate it, like I call them the Joe Sixpack, the Joe Sixpacks.
Yeah.
That are just, I'm not a horror fanatic, but I'll go see the latest Halloween movie because it's advertised all over my Twitter or whatever. And, they go see the movie, they have their popcorn. They don't get into message boards about the movie. They go on with their lives. Yeah. More times than not, they don't like Halloween Ends. That's what I'm noticing.
Yeah. I mean, if you went into Halloween Ends as a casual fan just wanting like a slasher movie, I can see why you'd be pissed off leaving it.
Yeah.
It's not like Halloween Ends is more, it's not even really a slasher. It's more of just a story that they wanted to tell with these characters. And I thought that was cool, but I absolutely understand why not everyone jives with it.
For sure.
Yeah. I think like, overall, it's a series. The whole trilogy, I think, is just, as time goes on, those fresh wounds or whatever you want to call them from people who are upset, they're going to heal. They're going to scab over. And it's like, yeah, maybe to them, they'll never say it's the greatest thing ever, but let's just be real, guys. Like, there's going to be another installment at some point, and that installment's going to piss off a whole new group of people because it's going to be a direct remake, or it's going to be something that's like, oh, we're going to go back and now follow the 4th timeline. Yeah. Everybody's always going to find a reason to bitch about it. In my opinion, it's like everybody, when it comes to all 3 of the big 3 franchises, everybody has their favorites. Everybody has the one, everybody knows, okay, the original of the big 3, or I guess for Friday the 13th fans, maybe it's part 4, part 6. But it's like, everybody has, those are the great ones. And then the sequels, I've met people who love, part 4 more than anything. People who love part 3 of Halloween than anything. Some people love H2O more as their favorite because they grew up with it. It's like everybody's going to have their own reasons. Sure. So I think at the end of the day, I'm happy that people are softening to Halloween Ends, because it's like, shit, dude, it's a franchise everybody loves. Like, yeah, it's going to have its moments. There's going to be, Luke always makes this joke every time we see a movie that's like differing from our opinion, is he's like, he can't wait for 10 years down the road when somebody releases an article on like Deadline where it's like, Halloween Ends, the most misunderstood film of a generation. It's like, it's all this stuff.
I think
like
that's already happened.
Oh yeah, it's going to keep
that was kind of what my video was.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of those articles and videos about it. So
we're currently working on one for 28 years later. So there you go.
Dude, that's that movie. I am a massive, massive fan of 28 Days and Weeks, especially Weeks. I'm a weird fan of this franchise. Like, I'm the Weeks guy. Like,
I've only seen Days.
Oh, dude, Weeks is literally, I don't want to freaking toot my own. I think Weeks might be my favorite zombie movie, even though it's not technically zombies. I know that that's a side discussion, but you know, they're not undead, but you know, just people that are not there running after you.
Sure.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites, if not my favorite. I mean, yeah, you got Dawn of the Dead and Night of the Living Dead, of course. Those are like freaking hollow ground. But yeah, man, of the newer stuff, I would put Weeks above just about everything, just because it taps into emotion more than any other zombie movie I've ever seen. And zombies are, you know, a lot of the movies tap into emotion. I mean, I think that's what Romero was all about, was talking about the current, you know, landscape and what was going on culturally. This is more of like a family emotional type of thing, where a husband leaves his family, you know, leaves his wife, who he loves very, very much. But it's a real oh shit moment, because the Ragers, they're just freaking insane, and you don't want them near you whatsoever. And you know, so the beginning, and it's pretty iconic scene. I mean, Evan, you haven't seen Weeks, but I guarantee you've probably seen that scene where you got the guy running in a field from
or
all
you've at
those
least seen it in
Ragers.
every single thumbnail that anybody makes for 28 weeks, because it is the iconic
It's
scene.
the go-to, yeah. So
it's a very good opening. It's a very strong opening.
It is.
Weeks we're talking about?
Yeah,
This
Weeks.
is Weeks.
I don't know if I have seen that, but maybe if I saw it, I recognize it.
Damn, now you got to see Weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Dylan, what do we have on the docket again? I'm trying to remember.
We have a few things. I did just want to say we've been very bad boys about the chat. Alex usually reminds us, so we should probably at least say what's up to everybody. We've gotten a lot of nice messages. Lots of people are obviously stoked that Lee is here, so that's great to see. Let's see. I know Evan for your long videos, Gracie always there to
I'm
support.
not surprised to see that coming from Gracie. She made like a 4-hour-long Terrifier video.
We got Nightmare Files in here.
Cool
popping
fellow
in,
creator.
Then we got, of course, Lee Cortez. What's up? What's going on? What's going on? Maddox popping up in here. Says
Hey,
the bunnies are saying
That's my
hi.
girlfriend. The bunnies are saying hi.
Yep. We got Gremlin Ryo. Vanderhoff.
What's up, buddy?
Dave Vanderhoff, the legend.
And this one's more of a question for you guys. I don't really use Letterboxd the way you're supposed to. I use it to compile basically like visual lists for myself. So I don't, because I can't.
Oh, it's
keep
great
track
for
of
lists. Yeah, for sure.
I have it. I almost never use it. Partially because like I never know how to like score movies. So if I do use it, I just heart it and will like write something. Because I don't know. I never give numerical ratings to things. My brain doesn't work that way.
I'm glad you say that, Evan, because I get onto myself a lot, because I'll score a movie the first time I watch it really, really high.
It doesn't feel right.
And then the next time I watch it, and then I'll forget what I scored it, and then I'll go back and look at Letterboxd, and I'm like, did I really give it that high? No. And then I'll have to correct myself.
It's a scale that just to me doesn't really have much meaning, because like if you're basing it off of entertainment, that's such a subjective thing that I don't think this like the number rating even means anything at that point.
That's why we didn't do a number or a letter grade for ours. We did, you know, what is our
yours
ratings?
works. I think
recommend,
like,
must
like
see,
that,
worth a watch, slash it, you know, things like that. It's like those are just like what we would say to like our friends. It's like, hey, this one's worth a watch. You know what I mean?
It works.
It feels more like realistic, and that's also why we title our reviews Raw Reactions, because we just want it to be very clear that just because we're saying this now doesn't mean I'm going to watch this movie in 5 years and change my mind. You know what I mean? So it's like that's just if you're a movie fan, everybody's done that. Like
also like because my videos are all like long form video essays. If I make a 40-minute video and then my thoughts aren't clear enough by the end of it without a rating, I feel like I've just failed at the video. I just seems completely.
You don't need a rating. By the time you get to the end of your video, you're like, okay, I can get an idea of how he feels about it.
Exactly. So for me, it wouldn't. Also, Gracie's talking about copyright stuff. I don't know if you have Instagram, Gracie, but you can shoot me a message and I can see if I can help you out with that, because you got to fight copyright claims. I'm a huge proponent of battling for that kind of thing. I haven't lost any now. I got them all released. It's
There you
working
go.
out quite well. You have
It's
to.
got to get frustrating too when you put so much time and effort into a long form video, and then
Well, I have a week-long buffer built into my production schedule to allow for a copyright appeal to take place.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so
Smart.
I have it. I have it built in, so it's not an inconvenience. I don't mind doing it. It just gets annoying when like a studio is like, "No, go fuck yourself, copyright strike," which has only happened twice, and both times I've had it removed. But it sucks.
Yeah.
I just upload another version with more censors and more things cut out because I'm impatient and I don't trust those people. So that's just I just make my life harder because then YouTube will just hit me a couple weeks later and be like, "Hey, this is naughty. Stop doing
part
that."
of it. Like I don't want to have to. Dude, I got thinking about that. God bless. I'm trying to remember what his name was. It was one of my Patreon supporters when I put the Nosferatu video up early. Left a comment saying, "Hey, heads up. You forgot to censor some stuff in here." There were like shots of like Orlok's uncensored dick or
Oh no.
and it was like already on YouTube. It was like preparing to go on YouTube, so I like panicked and I had to go in and censor it in the YouTube editor. But I'm trying to remember who it was. But he saved the day. That could have been really bad.
Yeah.
Oh, Evan, I know we brought this up long ago, like multiple shows ago,
Okay.
but obviously I'm uploading to Patreon now, where Patreon went live. So if you
Yes.
don't know that and you want some extra uncensored content, go there, free plug. But I think the reason that I wasn't able to upload stuff directly was because I just hadn't made the account live yet. I did not realize that. I did not know that you had to make the account like go. I was like, of course I'm going to upload everything first. Why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah.
It's like, no, you have to finish it. So I just clicked that, and then suddenly I was able to upload stuff, and that's been really rewarding because I was really pleased to actually upload an entire video of talking about gross, disturbing horror movies and not have to like stress about getting taken down. And I was like, wow, I'm actually giving people what the original vision of these videos is supposed to be, because I have a lot of funny reaction stuff in there, but like I feel like sometimes the impact does not work unless you see what I'm seeing.
Sure.
And that certainly ups the value, I'd say, and people seem to like it. So
well, on the topic of Patreon, Lee, you are one of the few people, only 3 people I support on Patreon. You're one of them.
Thank you. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to ask you, like, when you upload to Patreon, do you do it through like YouTube Unlisted, or do you
can upload directly
to Patreon?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah. You used to not be able to. I don't know when they added it, but yeah, you can upload straight to Patreon. So I do it like one of my Patreon tiers gives people early access to videos, so I just chuck it up directly on the Patreon upload, throw it up there, and it's just fine.
And that's exactly how I thought it was too, because I was telling him, I'm like, how am I supposed to do uncensored videos if like I'm gonna put it on YouTube and it's still gonna get like claimed or copyright struck or taken down? Like this doesn't work. And he's like, just upload it directly. I'm like, what are you talking about, Evan? I can't do that.
Must have been
it tells me no.
It must have been recent, because I remember that Dr. Wolfula used to put them on Vimeo.
Mm-hmm.
So you would get a private Vimeo.
That was going to be my next thing. That was where I was going. So,
but no, you can just upload straight to Patreon. So
yeah, that's true. I do have a Vimeo too, but I don't like upload. My wife uses it because she uploads some of her videos on there for her book.
Sure.
But I
saw that. That's very cool.
Yeah. I mean, well, here's the book right here.
Yeah, plug.
Delilah versus the Gastogram. Yeah, she spent a good year. I think I'd say about a year writing this, because when she writes, she goes fast, and then she'll go through an edit, like a second edit, and even a third edit, and then she'll read the whole thing to me, like each chapter a night. But she loves doing it,
That's
and
awesome.
this one, because I remember when our kids were young, my kids are the same age as Harry Potter's, like the same age as Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. They are the same age as my kids. So when Harry Potter was coming out, we were taking them to the theater to see each movie, and we all became big Harry Potter fans. And so
awesome.
My wife said, you know what, I wouldn't mind writing a Harry Potter type book, and that's what she did, and it was kind of inspired.
Sweet.
So
that's awesome.
So there's no plug for my wife.
Well, I'll definitely say what I assume it's young adult kind of like age range for like
it's
kids,
like
Harry Potter-esque.
Middle school, but
okay.
she's gotten a lot of compliments from people that are actual like adults saying, "Hey, I couldn't put this down. I enjoy children's fantasy." I mean, let's face it too. In this day and age, and nerd culture, even Star Wars was meant to be for like kid movies, but look at what Star Wars, how it impacted grown adults.
Sure.
No age range, and I think Harry Potter does have that effect on some people. I know people that they love Harry Potter, and they're probably in their my age.
Man,
My
I
dad.
grew up on Harry Potter, and it's like so close to my heart. 'Cause
My
I
dad's
was-
a huge Harry Potter fan. He loves
Yeah.
it.
I'm a little baby child. I was born in 2001, same year the first movie came out.
Yeah,
So like I was quite literally growing up while those movies were coming out, and that was a very formative thing for me. Some of the earliest
cool.
movie memories I have were the Harry Potter movies.
Yep, that
Yeah,
was
they're
one of
great
the big
movies.
series for sure. Growing up, that was huge. I remember going to when Part 7 came out, the book. I remember going to Walmart the day it came out, standing in a line with like my cousins and my aunt to get a copy. Like it was that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
loved
what's
it.
you guys' favorite movie of the Harry Potter movies? I'm curious.
Mine's actually Part 6. It's also my favorite book.
Which one is that? Half-Blood Prince?
Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's up there for me. It's either I love that. I think Prisoner of Azkaban is brilliant.
That's the answer I constantly hear people say. Prisoner of
Yeah.
Azkaban.
Prisoner of Azkaban is amazing. Half-Blood Prince is amazing, and I also think the last two Deathly Hallows movies are like brilliant.
Yeah.
Like I have a hard time with but those ones are my favorites for sure. Books and movies.
Mm-hmm. I've always been an Order of Phoenix guy. I think
Yeah, I was gonna
cinematically, Order
say.
of Phoenix is just a beautifully directed movie,
It is.
and I think the final act is just gold. But I also love Goblet of Fire too. I think
I
Goblet
was
of
about
Fire
to
is
say
Goblet
more
of Fire
entertaining.
is like kind of what we were talking about earlier, where it's like a bit of a different thing for
It
the
is.
story.
I think
like
like
because they're doing like a tournament,
Yeah.
and it's the only movie like that where they're doing.
The
you
third
gotta-
act of Goblet of Fire is one of the best things in the whole
dude,
franchise.
so good, so good.
Mhm. Yeah,
I didn't plan on talking about Harry Potter, but here we are.
No,
no, that's we talk about whatever.
as I
Yeah.
said before we went live, we tend to have a plan, and it never really.
And, yeah,
I
this
I
was
always
fun.
felt like everybody agrees that 3 is probably the best movie. I think like for me, that's when everything really started to click. I don't know, like I
Mhm.
love the first two. I watched them on VHS all the time.
yeah.
But like
They're kids
3
movies, though.
3 was the first movie I think the first one I actually went to the theater to see. I was old enough. I was like, you know what? I want to see this. My dad wanted to see it. So like that's when it really started to get serious for me, I think. And I was like
Mhm.
the perfect age because I was 1998 was when I was born. So I'm just a little older than you, Evan. And it's like
Yeah.
I'm at that age when 4, 5, 6, and then of course 7, part 1 and 2. I was like getting to high school age by the time they were wrapping up, and it was like, damn, that's a really impactful section of that story. So
Sure.
yeah. Also,
it's
I
kind
mean,
of interesting
Voldemort
because-
gets really brought in. So
You guys are similar in age, and I'm from a different generation.
As
And
is Alex. It's a dynamic we tend to have on the show. It's
yeah, and I think the interesting thing about it is that YouTube, like I couldn't have done YouTube when I was your age, but I think that's the thing we all have in common is we're just all big movie fans.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like I kind of call your generation the YouTube generation because you're like at the prime age for
Sure.
YouTube. And sometimes I always tell myself, I'm like, man, it would have been really cool if I would have been, in my 20s and been able to pick up a camera and talk about. But back then I could, there was no platform to do
Yeah.
it. But even as far as back then, I remember I used to watch like Siskel and Ebert, and I was just like, damn, I would love to do that, just to
Sure.
get on camera and talk to people about movies. And back then, I thought that it's an impossibility unless you go to
Mhm.
freaking college. But even if you do that, the chances of you still being at that level, Siskel and Ebert, the only guys on the planet that do it, give or take a few others, it's a different world now. That's what's cool about anybody right now. A 19-year-old guy can literally pick up a camera and start talking about movies and get an audience, a massive audience in the millions. And I think that's really, really cool.
yeah, it's definitely something that like even being of this generation, I still kick myself for how late I started really taking it seriously because we didn't
Mhm.
start until 4 years ago, really taking it seriously. And it's like, if I would have been doing this right out of high school, I could only imagine where we'd be because even at our age, it's still like, I don't know if Evan feels this way. It still feels like an impossibility to even get 1,000 subscribers. You know, the threshold you need to even start making money on YouTube feels impossible. And it's like, oh my God, like the fact that once you actually do start to gain traction, you figure out how this stuff works and you figure out where your voice is,
Yeah.
it just takes off. And
I
it's
mean, I
like,
still
it's
haven't,
so
like,
crazy.
It happens so quickly that
Mhm.
like I still haven't even really gotten acquainted with it.
Yeah, I was
I don't
thinking
know what the
about
fuck
you,
I'm
Evan,
doing.
like how fast your channel grew. And
Well,
there's some of us, you know, we kind of like I've always been a slow builder, I
Yeah.
guess. And then you have some people, they just like tap into something and it just blows up. And like, I guess, what is your mindset to that? Like, do you even have time to even like stop and process it? Because I get a lot of comments, but I can probably, if I want to, I could probably answer a lot of those comments. But when you get like the views that you get on some of your videos, like, how do you even like approach the comments? You know?
I have an unhealthy habit where I do actually read every comment, which I
Yeah.
shouldn't be doing. Realistically, I
Mhm.
don't think it's good for your mental health.
It's
to
not,
do
yeah.
that. But yeah, I mean, like the headspace, like when it was going on, like I almost don't even remember because it was just so dizzying. Like when Dylan and I first met, I think I had, I don't know, like 200 subscribers or something like
You were
that.
like 250
Yeah,
area.
yeah, around there. And then like that was after what, a year or two of my channel being around, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was like a year later, my Exorcist video went up, and then I got to like 2,000-ish subscribers. But then I put up a video on Sinister, like, when was it? It was in 2023, right?
It was early 2023. It was like February, I think.
Yeah. I put up a video on Sinister, and I guess just it was at the right time where like I had noticed everyone was talking about Blumhouse movies being really shitty. So I was like, well, why don't I talk about a really good Blumhouse movie?
Yeah.
And then that was the thing, and it happened so quickly that like I genuinely don't even really remember what it felt like at that point because it was just so dizzying. I think as soon as it happened, it was also a weird point because I also got fired from my job at the same time.
Wow.
That was funny.
And
it's funny now, not funny at the moment. But
Yeah.
it was funny.
Same week, had a relationship and got fired and went from like 10 to 20,000 subscribers.
Isn't that crazy?
It was absolutely dizzying. So I think I just kind of like put my head in the sand and tried to focus on getting work done as much as possible.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta like grasp this.
On the outside, like Alex and I have talked about that before, and Luke too, where it's just like we watched your life basically change over social media, like just over our chats.
Yeah.
Within like a 3-week span, your entire life and what you were doing changed. Like
it was crazy.
And when you have a video blow up like that, are you already thinking about, okay, is this a fluke or is this going to happen again with the next video? And it could go either way. You never know.
I don't think I was really even thinking about it. I was just like, I just need to like keep doing that clearly.
Well, what you're doing, I always, because I have people ask me like, how do I do this YouTube thing? You know, thinking it's a quick, easy answer. But what you're doing, I usually tell people, like, if you want to talk about a movie, even if it's a movie everybody's talking about, if you have some unique spin on it, or if you're just very well spoken and just passionate, because I think passion can really take you far on YouTube. You can tell the difference between somebody who's not only passionate but motivated to put the time into a video to make it something special.
Sure.
Like one of my buddies, Leighton Eversaw, he kind of started around the same time I did. And I remember when he started off, he was just doing 10-minute videos, just kind of scratching the surface like a lot of us do. And then he started he did the story of like Jaws 2. And the video was an hour long, and it's a very well put together video. And he's living proof that your last video could literally do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I rarely ever blame the algorithm, because I think it's just work. If you put the work into it, and his Jaws 2 video, it blew up immediately because people saw that. They looked at it almost like a documentary. Like, wow, this guy put a lot of freaking work into this video. This is different than any other Jaws 2 video I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So, and watching your content that you're putting out, and I can imagine you probably spend a week on just one video, but
3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks. And it takes time, it takes patience. And I've done a couple of documentaries myself, and I think they perform pretty well. But at the end of it, man, you feel like you just got through the end of a freaking, like a
Dude,
Rocky
it's
Balboa
exhausting.
fight.
Yeah, it is exhausting.
It's exhausting. I
Yeah.
think I even I put out a little Patreon video when I finished my Halloween documentary, and or no, the Scream documentary I did. That's an hour and a half long.
It's great.
And I spent 3 months on that thing. And
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I'm literally editing the last 1 minute of
Mhm.
an hour and a half. I'm going to capture this moment. And it was 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I turned the camera on and I'm like, guys, it's fucking done.
Yeah.
And I look like I'm just going to pass out.
Well, the Nosferatu thing was a similar, like that was over 2 months from when I watched the movie and took notes on it to when it was done.
Yeah.
So these things can take a very long time, and it is exhausting. But that's the thing when you were talking about like loving it, you have to, because if you're not enjoying it and you spend 2 months working on something, you're never going to want to open an editing software again.
No.
It's going to drive you to the brink of insanity. You have to enjoy doing it.
Yeah, I think like the one video, there's technically two, because I did one on this unmade Halloween movie, and that was like
That was
the
a
first
great
time
video.
that was the first time I really sat down and tried to do like a video essay.
Yeah.
And I was really proud of it, but it took me, again, I started writing it out and I didn't even start I think I started writing it out in July and I didn't even start recording it until like end of August, because I wrote so much and I was just trying to basically like figure out how I wanted to tell it. And of course I went through and did way too much, gave my whole perspective on 2018. But I was really proud of it when it was done. And it was the first video I ever had that like got 10K views.
Yeah.
And I think like, even though I look back on it and I'll rewatch the beginning part of it sometimes, I'd be like, just get to the point. Like, why am I so sloppy? Why is this so like this? But
We're
I'm
always
like,
hardest on ourselves.
the nicest comment that I've ever gotten on that video specifically was just actually like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Somebody commented on there, I watch this video probably once every 6 months. I love it so much. He's like, I wish they would. He's like, I wish they would do this idea. And I'm just like, that feels so good. That's because I've done that with people that I love, like creators and stuff over the years growing up. I would rewatch their videos and stuff like that. Lee, your documentaries are one of those, especially the Halloween one. I've seen that twice. Just listening to it while I'm like, doing house chores and stuff. Throw some headphones in. And it's like, that's the kind of stuff that I always like love. Yeah. And I was like, the fact that somebody actually like said that and validated that, that was the first time where I really felt like, you know what? It's not the best video. I could probably go back and fix it up now, but I'm really glad that somebody sees how good it was and how much work I put into it. It means the world.
And it's like, it's a baffling thought to me in the first place that someone would, like my Substance video was almost an hour long. Like it's a crazy thought to think that someone would actually sit through an hour of me talking about the movie. But what's even crazier is when I get comments of people saying they've rewatched them. Like, you sat through this multiple times? Like that's crazy.
I think I think like every serious YouTuber should do, like if you do like, 20-minute videos, 15-minute videos, whatever, I think you have to challenge yourself at least once every 6 months. I try to do it. Step outside of your box and stay in your niche. Of course, that's the YouTube law, but push yourself, try to do something that intimidates you. Like your first reaction to that project should be like, damn, do I really want to do this? That's a good sign when you say that sentence, because most of the stuff, even I do for new releases, because of time limits, you got to get home, you got to put out the out of theater reaction, you got to put out the video. I get bored with it. So I have to challenge myself, I think, at least a couple of times a year, take on a big project. Right now I'm taking on a Crow documentary that's been in the works for quite a few months, and I'm covering like all 5 movies. And it keeps me going. It gives me that little gusto that you need to, because I'll be proud of it when I finally put it out, if it ever does come out, damn it. So
I have one now that I'm not planning on having out for like another 3 or 4 months, but I'm already working on it because I'm like, I know this is going to be meaty and I want to get ahead of it.
I get asked a lot, and like I'm gonna make a funny joke at the beginning of like kind of I call it my Avengers like end of phase thing for these disturbing list videos. where it's like I'm now going to rank all 24 movies I talked about with my audience. And I'm like, I get asked all the time, like, you look like you're having a terrible time talking about these movies. You look off, and they are gross. They're really bad movies.
Yeah.
And like, I don't enjoy watching them. Like this last list was the first time in a long time I think I've seen a movie that I actually like walked away and said, I would show this to people just because of how batshit crazy it is. But I think like have you guys ever had this where it's like, even though objectively the material isn't something that you necessarily like exploring or like really talking about all that much, but it's that communal experience of once the video's out and you see people's reaction and all the comments and everything, like that's the conversation that makes those videos worth it. And it's like, I've explained that to people in the comments before, but like, I don't understand it either. Cause it's like, realistically, how I feel when I finish one of these videos, I should not want to do this again.
Yeah.
But like, I love the conversation. I love people like making jokes or some people even relating. Those are my favorite, when people are like, oh my God, I watched that movie with my friends. It's so fucked up. It's terrible. Yeah. And you can just have that kind of moment to vent it all off. It's almost like I'm putting trauma on myself to then vent it with a bunch of people. And I don't know. It's like, I just was curious if there's ever been a series of videos or something that either of you, I think probably more for you, Lee, what have you ever had that where it's like, maybe you don't enjoy the topic as much, but the people make it worth it?
I have an answer for you, but it's kind of the opposite, because the thing I love talking about the most is probably like deeper cuts, you know, like say there's a movie from 1981 called Looker that like, and a lot of times I get my ideas when I'm like running or something like that, or exercising. And you guys probably get this too, where these ideas will just like pop in your head. And I just remembered this movie from my childhood called Looker. And it's PG, but it has more nudity than like most movies today. And so that's the start of it. Like, okay, that's a topic that I could probably talk about for, 5 minutes, and then talk about the movie and talk about the behind the scenes. But the big thing about it is talking about something that nobody is not talking about, but also they've never heard of. To me, that's what gets me the most inspired to do. As far as like something that I don't enjoy talking about, that's the tough thing for me, because usually I'll just be like, because my passion won't be there, it might get views, but I'll feel like I'm only being half-hearted about it, I guess. And I can't give my all to it. So
and it's weird because like it always starts off like these videos always start with that. I think it's like it's just on a constant loop of like, it starts exciting because I'm just coming off of the last experience of like, it was so fun to relate, so fun to talk to these guys about all this stuff. And then I'm like building up, I'm looking for the movies, I'm reading lists, I'm reading descriptions and everything, just trying to see what is going to be so crazy for the next list. It is right when I get to the reaction stage, right when I have to record myself watching, and I was going to watch the movies anyway, but I just get there and it's like, I'll watch one. And then like, I sit there and I'm like, I don't want to watch these other 4 movies. Like, I'm just like, it gets to that point where I'm like, I need to like take a week in between each watch just because I'm like, I hate it.
Hellraiser was a tough one, because I went through that entire franchise, and you enjoyed the first 3, but then man, they just get worse and worse and worse. But you feel like you have to do it because you want to complete the thing. You want to, So I guess that's a good answer. Phantasm,
that's a great
those
answer.
get worse.
Yeah.
So,
I think sometimes it's just like you have to mix in, like it's great to talk about like movies that are huge, like The Substance or something like that. Like that was super fun to cover. Yeah. But then it's also like I want to talk about like Hammer horror films. Like it's not Hammer, but I'm talking about like Horror Express in this December. But like I always try to sandwich it between like something big. So like I have these like random. Have you seen Horror Express? Either of you? Christopher Lee.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
I know about it though.
Yeah, they're transporting some cargo up in, I think it's in the Arctic. And it's
always is.
It's sick. It goes.
Good title.
Yeah, it is. But there was actually a really cool episode of the Creep Show series where they like put themselves into that movie in a really cool way. But yeah, like you just gotta sandwich in those. Like I'm talking about like Curse of Frankenstein as well, like the Hammer horror Curse of Frankenstein, which I think is fantastic. And like I love talking about these big movies, but whenever I put something like that on the schedule, I'm like, oh yes, I can't wait to talk about
Yeah.
it. And I know those videos aren't going to do as well. Like when I covered the original Wolfman last year, I think it was last year. It might have been earlier this
Yes.
year. I
Yeah,
don't
it was
remember.
earlier this year actually, but yeah.
The video didn't do well, but like I loved working on that movie so much, or on that video
Yeah.
so much, because it's just like those are the movies that like get you excited. Where it's like,
Giallo films. Anytime I talk about a Giallo movie, I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh man, this is fun. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying digging into this and talking about the crazy batshit twist ending that they always have.
mhm.
And sometimes they do really well, and some you just never can tell. Like I think the
Yeah.
last couple of Giallo movies that I've done, they might get like 1,000, maybe 2,000 views.
Sure.
But then I've done some that end up getting like 10,000, 15,000. So it's kind of like Alice, Sweet Alice, which isn't really a Giallo movie, but it's kind
Yeah.
of like a grindhouse type feel. That thing constantly still gets comments, still gets views. That's the weird thing about YouTube too. Like, do you guys have any videos that you did like years ago that you didn't think would like do well, but just like I did this movie called Look Away with
Yeah.
Olivia Hussey's daughter. It was on Amazon. I was just watching something on Amazon and said, if you like this, then you might like this. And it was Look Away. And I watched Look Away and I was like, I got to talk about this. And so I
Yeah.
did a video on it. That thing's got like almost 40,000 views now.
Yeah.
And it started off just trickling, because I did it like 4 years ago. And it just kept growing and growing and growing. And still to this day, I get comments on Look Away. It's just a
I
weird
mean, I didn't
thing.
think the Sinister video was going to do. I almost trashed it.
Yeah.
I was like finishing the video. I was like, this is a mess. I'm just like not going to upload this. It's going to fail. So,
Yeah.
don't do
I
that.
did. What was it? Tale of Two Sisters, the South Korean film. That was the video. I was just like, man, I could have done better.
Yeah.
And it's got like freaking 50,000 views
Well,
now.
And I think
It's
what's
like,
fun
what?
That's
too,
a
when you
wild
get to- when
movie.
you get to those videos,
Yeah.
that you're like, I don't think this is going to do very well because maybe it's about like a really, obscure movie or something like that. It's an interesting challenge to try and think about, okay, well, how can I package this video in a way that will make it so that people don't need to know about the movie to click on it?
Mhm.
Like there's a movie I want to make a video about called Mirror, which is an Andrei Tarkovsky movie. It's not even a horror movie, but like I want to do a video on it because it literally like changed the way I look at movies. And I'm like, well, that's a really
That's a
interesting
perfect
way
reason.
to package this video, even though like if you're in like film schools, you've probably heard of Andrei Tarkovsky movies, but like broadly, people aren't gonna know Mirror.
Mhm.
So then you're like, okay, well, how can I make this maybe still grab? But there's almost always a way you can talk about more obscure things and not have to worry about it tanking.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you title it in a way where your audience, like you need to, like I have this thing where I'll also, why is nobody talking about this movie or something like that? Something to get them to say, okay, what is he talking about? Shit, let me click on it and see what,
Yep.
and then I try to influence them to, hey, I think you should give this movie a chance because it does some weird, crazy shit. And I'll talk about the weird, crazy shit. And then I've had so many people say, hey, thank you for recommending Looker or, some other weird off kilter type movie. And the thing I love about that, I don't care about the views. The thing I love about that is that people will come to me and they'll say, hey man, I love this freaking movie now. And this movie I never would have heard of if it wasn't for you. And I'm sure you guys have gotten that too. And I think that is the most rewarding thing about doing this.
It's the best.
And that's another part of that disturbing stuff is like there are a lot of people who compliment that like, oh, you're finding stuff that nobody ever talks about.
Yeah.
But like it is kind of it's actually funny that you bring that stuff up, Lee, because like there's a piece of this that like I'm making a video right now that is kind of regressive in the sense of like I'm going back and discussing more basic disturbing stuff, but I'm only going to do scenes. And for people who aren't following, if you're on the Patreon, you know about this, but if not, this is a surprise that's getting revealed. But that's going to be coming out later this week or early next week. And I'm talking about stuff from like Serbian film again and like Martyrs, but these are movies I have not talked about in like well over a year because they're just so common in the horror space and the disturbing horror space. But like I think the thing that I'm finding really caught my interest about this is like if I talk about specific scenes, I can almost look at this as like a new way to not necessarily satisfy my hardcore audience who's like, okay, we've heard your opinions on these, but throw another net out now that I know more, now that I've experienced more with this subgenre, to be like, hey, here's some of the things I found, here's some more facts I found, or here's some movies that are inspired by this. And like, it's just a different way to look at it. So I'm real excited to see how that does, because I feel like it almost satisfies that itch to go back and talk about some of the more basic, standard, disturbing titles, but
I love
without
talking about
sacrificing
disturbing
everything.
It's super fun.
They can be
Yeah.
really intense. Yeah, they can be really.
I had a great time talking about I Spit on Your Grave, and that is a tough movie to watch.
Oh yeah,
but
Dude, honestly,
a really interesting movie to discuss. And I even had like the son of the director,
oh wow,
like reach out to me on X.
No way.
After, yeah, and he directed a documentary, My Life Growing Up with I Spit on Your Grave. And so
Damn.
he was like sharing my video and stuff like that, because I've talked about his documentary, because I got the box set. Matter of fact, here it is right here. And
That's awesome.
the box set actually has that documentary on it. And
That's
I couldn't
awesome.
help him. That's a great documentary. And I just love like grindhouse type movies. And
sure.
I think Terrifier really, it kind of influenced people to watch movies that they would never give a chance, like Martyrs, and like I Spit on Your Grave, and countless others. Terrifier was kind of the gateway for the most depraved type, because for some reason, Art, he's got a lot of charm, and that's kind of how he pulls you in. He seduces you. You think he's not gonna hurt anybody, and then as soon as he gets in there, he's like sawing them, and it's like, oh shit, now I'm hooked in, and I can't look away.
Yep.
And what are some of these other movies that maybe Terrifier is influenced by? Oh, Martyrs. Let me go check that out. Now you got
to go from Terrifier to Martyrs. You're gonna have a hard time.
I don't know, man. I mean,
there's some stepping stones to get there.
You're definitely taking some of the cartoonishness away when you step into Martyrs, and
very serious. There's no cartoonish.
But
no Martyrs.
As far as like blood and gore goes, you're about on the same path almost, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think that's why Art the Clown like connects with so many people, and I promise we will go right into topics here, because we've been bullshitting for an hour.
Yeah, right.
We've had 3 people ask, hey, what are we talking about Friday the 13th? I know.
It could be my fault. I don't even know yet.
You're good. No, this is what we thrive for on this. We love this kind of stuff. But like, yeah, it's one of those things that's like, even going into Terrifier 2, knowing what I knew was going to happen and what we were going to see, I'm still sitting there giggling my ass off when he's buck-ass naked in a laundromat, just sitting there, just clapping and reading a newspaper. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Dylan, I meant to ask you, have you watched the extra crunch mix for the Terrifier 3 Art Attack set yet? Or are you
not yet? No, I have not gone to. I've only I haven't even put Terrifier 3 in from that yet. The only thing I've rewatched and even explored on that set so far is All Hallows Eve and Terrifier, just because I wanted to see what they had as far as special features and stuff.
So, Lee, I don't know if you picked this up, but Umbrella released a trilogy set of the Terrifier movies, the Art Attack box set.
Yeah. I think I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And on 3, I have mine back there, but I'm sure Dylan has it closer. On 3, there is something called the Extra Crunch Sound Mix. Which I'm very curious about, because the sound design in Terrifier 3 is already batshit insane.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
fucking gorgeous, by the way.
It's a really nice set.
It's a beautiful set. One of my favorites.
I can't imagine what that is going to sound like. I can't wait.
Extra crunch?
Extra crunch mix,
extra bone crunches, maybe? The thing is, like, the third one's a Christmas movie, and so I think I've been holding off because I want to watch it when the holidays come.
I have 1 and 2 on my list for October, but then I'll save 3 for Christmas.
Yeah, I watched Terrifier 3 probably like 5 times between theaters, the screener, and then everything else. So like, I'm definitely waiting till Christmas.
I'm dying to watch it again too. I loved it. It's so freaking
and actually,
great.
that's a perfect segue, because Christmas horror movies is one of our topics.
Yes.
Nice.
All right, there we go. There we go.
Deadly Night.
So. Getting into the topics, yes, folks, and somebody was asking, that is sold through Umbrella, if you're talking about the Art Attack set. So
it's such a good set.
And then I know we had a couple people talking about like High Tension.
I get a lot of comments like that of people who are saying they're not horror fans, they can't watch horror movies, but they love watching the videos. I think that's super cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, because it gives you like a vicarious way to still appreciate films that you may not want to personally sit through, and I think that's awesome.
That's like one of the number one comments I get on those disturbing list videos. Is they're like, "I'm glad you're watching this, so I don't have to."
Almost always
they
on the
just like
disturbing
those.
ones, yeah.
Yeah, but I get that too because like there's a lot of movies like especially like the Sony Marvelverse stuff where it's like the Venom. Like I watched all the Venom movies, but like Morbius and stuff. I'm like, I'm just gonna wait until somebody makes a funny YouTube video about it. And then I'll decide if I want to watch it. Because it's just kind of like, if it's really as bad as people say, I always want to give it my own like appraisal because I've definitely disagreed with people. But like, I'm not rushing out to the theater to go see these. I'll see a couple of funny videos, and if it's on Netflix, then maybe I'll give it a watch.
And that, like the last Marvel movie I had seen before Deadpool and Wolverine was Spider-Man: Homecoming. And then been like 10 years between that and the previous one as well. So like, it's not a world I'm invested in, but I do really enjoy watching videos of people talking about them sometimes.
Yeah, and you can find those.
There's lots of them.
Way too many of them.
Yeah. Okay, so Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yes, finally getting a remake again. I actually am a huge fan of the Stephen Miller remake. I don't know if you have seen that one, Lee.
Oh yeah, I bought it. Matter of fact, I was in not Saudi Arabia. I was in Afghanistan at the time. I didn't even know this movie was coming out, and I used to go to they had like a PX there where they would have like Blu-rays and stuff like that, and I would always go and look at the new Blu-rays on Tuesdays. And Silent Night, what is this? And then I pulled it out, and it's got like Santa Claus on it, but I didn't register that it was a remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night. You know.
You really don't. If you watch the movie, it's like...
And the movie's not... Yeah, there's no
it's
connection
like
whatsoever outside of a Santa. That's it.
It's more of like a reimagining of the
is.
original, yeah.
It does have the antler kill, a couple little winks and nods, but yeah, it's definitely its own thing. Even the characters are different.
So. Yeah, and I love it. Like, Luke and I went through our first year doing Splattercast, actually giving it a shot. We went through and that Christmas, we watched all of the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies, and what a trip that is. Evan talks about it all every year. He watches it with his bud.
Well, yeah, so we have a tradition. There were a couple years back now, me and my buddy were hanging out, and I said, you got to watch these movies. So we were marathoning them. We were on the first movie at the time. And he had wound up doing some gross concoction of a drink. I think it was something, I remember what happened. We wanted to have rum and eggnog. We didn't have any rum. So we put whiskey and eggnog together. And then as we were drinking and our senses were becoming worse, we went, well, people do like rum and Coke. So why don't we add some Pepsi into the whiskey and eggnog? Not realizing that would just curdle the eggnog immediately. But then we can't waste it. So
it's like when people were doing that Pepsi and milk challenge a couple years ago.
Yeah, so we finished it. and while we were doing that, you get the scene in the original movie where Billy comes around the corner at the front of the house and he goes, "Punish!" And my buddy goes, "Did he say hummus?" So he thought he'd come around the door and just yelled hummus. So now every year we have what we call the Hummus Marathon, where we make disgusting drinks and we watch all of the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies. And it's awesome.
Yeah,
and
that sounds
I'm so excited for this new one because it's going to be an addition to the marathon.
It's the most underrated franchise, I think,
dude,
ever.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Like, even 3 is my least favorite just because it's boring as shit. The one with Bill Moseley in it.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I hate that movie.
Oh, I hate 3.
4 is pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, but
no,
4 is pretty bad.
At least entertaining. 4 is so crazy and weird.
It's crazy.
3 is just boring. I like half asleep that whole goddamn movie. 5 is awesome.
Yeah,
yes, the Toy Maker.
5's very good.
Yeah, but Pino is by far.
I want an action figure of Pino. I need a NECA figure.
Yeah.
Pino's so great.
What an odd design.
It was great. 4 is like not even a Silent Night, Deadly Night movie. I don't even know what the hell
that movie's a fever dream, dude. Once they start doing like all the bugs and shit, I'm just like, what is going on?
But I like it more than 3.
I can.
It's entertaining.
What happened to Santa? Where is he?
But now we have this new one.
Yes, and it looks great. I'm just gonna say I watched this trailer multiple times. If you watched us live on Beyond the Splatter Graves last night, I already talked this movie to death, but this looks like everything I've wanted from a modern Silent Night, Deadly Night. I think that Rowan Campbell is perfect casting for Billy.
Yeah,
I
he
think
is
this is so good.
perfect.
Because if you watch his performance, not even in Halloween Ends, which I know most of you have seen, if you have not seen The Monkey yet,
Dude, he's so good in it.
to see this
He's good in
guy's
The Monkey.
range, like the range that he can do, I am so excited. I want him to go full tilt in this movie.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the whole Silent Night, Deadly Night trailer was the title card, which is perfect. It is so good. Like that just feels like they ripped it straight out of like an old school
It's like
Christmas
the
movie.
perfect font, everything.
They absolutely nailed it. And it's coming from the producers of Terrifier 3, so I'm sure we can expect some pretty hefty amounts of gore, especially because oh god, it's what the hell's the director's name again?
Oh, Mike P. Nelson.
Mike P. Nelson, who did the Wrong Turn remake, which I liked actually quite a bit.
I like it too.
I love the Wrong Turn remake.
That was a very cool
I'm
movie.
an avid defender of that. I think
it's great.
We can have both. Okay, guys, we can do both.
I liked that movie. I really like Mike P. Nelson. I think he's a good fit for this. I think Rohan Campbell, like, there's not a better person to play Billy in my eyes, like in terms of who we've got running around. And I really, really want it to do well because I think because Ends got shit on so much, a lot of people hate Rohan Campbell, which I think sucks because the dude is really
He's a great
good.
actor.
He's great. He's a great actor. He's a Canadian boy. I like that. He's awesome, and I want to see him get this role that like allows horror fans who weren't distracted by getting burned by what Halloween Ends did for them to have something to look at with him and go, oh shit, okay, he's actually good. But this looks awesome. The vibe of this trailer is on point. It looks brutal as all hell. The score sounds great. The title card is perfect. Rohan's great. Like there are no red flags with this for me. Unrated.
And it won't. I don't think it's going to perform that well. I hope it will, but just by the track record, this is kind of a cultish type franchise. And I remember back in the 90s, when these were coming out on VHS and you'd go to the video store and they always had very memorable VHS covers. I especially remember Silent Night, Deadly Night 3 with the white cover and the lovely woman on the front. Yes. But pretty much all of them. And I kind of passed them over because after I watched the second one, this was my mindset back then. I was like, what is this? This is like 45 minutes of the last movie. And I didn't appreciate it like I should have. And then when I went back, it's funny enough, YouTube is what got me to go back into the Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise. Yeah. And I started watching them and I found myself loving the hell out of them. And especially if you go and I have the DVD of part 2 and you got to listen to the commentary of the director talking about the mindset and everything and why they did that movie. And it was a whole rights thing. And they only had enough money and time to film 45 minutes for the sequel. And so they were like, shit, how do we make this a full movie? And this is stuff I didn't even know until I ventured into it. There's always a reason for when the weirdest shit happens in movies. When we're young, we don't think about it. We're just like, that's fucking weird. But when you're an adult and you really think about it and think about how movies are made, okay, there's got to be a weird reason why this happened. And sure enough, there was. They just didn't have the budget. And so they had to put on, add the first half of the first movie, and just retell the story. But then you get Garbage Day out.
It's one of the most quotable movies ever. And not just Garbage Day. I'm saying that one of the best scenes of that whole movie is when his therapist is writing red car on the notepad. And he comes up beside him and he goes, red car.
Red car.
Point.
Yeah, that whole scene with the therapist and Ricky is just gold.
It's one of the worst performances I've ever seen.
Oh, it's horrible. It's so great.
And it's brilliant.
Yeah.
The fucking eyebrows, man.
Mm-hmm. It's like they went so far into bad acting that they crossed over into another dimension that somehow turned into good, amazing acting.
Yeah. It's so
and
good.
The eyebrows are just like going insane. It just, oh my, there's no direction whatsoever. It's like no director said, hey, you might want to tone it back or maybe go across the street and get some acting lessons. No, let's just fucking roll, man. Let's just keep going. Shit.
I love it. It's anyway, this looks fantastic.
I'm looking forward to this. I think that overall I agree with you, Lee. I don't know if this is necessarily going to do well at the box office. I kind of hope that if we get some decent buzz and they really lean on this, I think the true testing ground for this right now, because it's the same company and everything, and I hate to say this because I know the fan bases are crossed, but they're very different from each other.
Mhm.
I think we have to see how the Toxic Avenger performs.
Yeah.
Because if the Toxic Avenger is doing the same thing, unrated Fathom Events thing, like we can see if the hardcore fans can push it over. But I don't know if they're expecting this to necessarily be like, oh, we're just gonna hope that this is the next Terrifier 3 with either of these movies, because they gotta understand that was a buildup. So like hopefully if these at least do halfway as decent and the fans get excited, maybe Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, or however they decide to, name these
I hope
ones.
they do the same thing.
45 minutes. I was telling Luke yesterday, I was like, they need to Snyder cut the original and just slash off the beginning half of 2 and just tack it onto the end of 1, and it's just Silent Night, Deadly Night extended cut.
Sure.
Can we get Clint Howard in there for God's sake?
Yeah.
Just toss him in there at the end.
That'd be amazing.
Cameo was like perfect.
Yeah.
That was
That's still my favorite scene of that movie, is the bar scene. All of it.
It was in stitches in the theater.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
So funny. But can't wait for this one. I think since we're talking about Mike P. Nelson with this project, we should already I guess kind of segue ourselves into the Jason stuff. Because yes, Friday the 13th had a big weekend, guys. San Diego Comic-Con went on. Obviously, lots of movies got announced, lots of stuff, whether it's superheroes, action films, horror films, all of it's here, TV, everything. But the one that really caught our attention, of course, is the Jason universe. Because, Lee, I don't know how you feel about it necessarily. I mean, I watched some of your video, but I'll pretend for the audience that I don't know. How do you feel about this whole Jason universe thing? How is this going so far?
My least concerning thing is the mask. That's the crazy thing. Like, I see every video, the mask. We got to talk about that mask. And I'm like,
so many more things
I'm a Halloween fan, okay? Don't talk to me about masks, all right? I have my own problems in this franchise that I love. So Jason finally gets a shit mask and everybody freaks the fuck out.
I rewatched part 4. I'm watching all the Halloween movies right now, counting down to October.
Yeah.
4 is so good. The mask is so bad.
Exactly. And I said, that's what I said in my video. I was just like, everybody freaks out now about the mask in part 4. But what is the movie that people love the most aside from the first Halloween movie? 4 arguably is up there. Everybody loves
4 is very good. 4
It's
makes
amazing.
you feel 4 feels like it's taking place on Halloween.
Yeah.
Like that's what I love about that movie.
Yeah. I think the lesson here is that depending on the direction and the lighting, they can make a bad mask look good, because there are some shots in Halloween 4 where the mask looks great. And I've said this on my Hit the Bricks podcast. We were talking about it. There's a 35 millimeter print of Halloween 4 on YouTube right now that I just discovered. Somebody sent me a link. This thing had like 200 views. I shit you not. I felt like I struck gold, and I started watching it. There's not a single frame of that version of the movie where the mask looks bad. It just looks glorious.
Really?
Yeah. So just type in like
an expectation that people were going to be watching these movies, with like 4K scans at the negatives back then.
You see that a lot today.
As soon as they started releasing Blu-ray and 4K, Halloween 4, the warts started showing themselves a lot more. But when I saw it back in the theater on the 35 millimeter print, it's just so much more depth to it. It's darker. And back when I saw it in the theater, I don't remember the mask being that bad. Yeah, there were a couple of shots that were like weird, but for the most part, man, I would say check out that 35 millimeter print that's on YouTube right now.
I just found it.
I'll have to look it up.
Evan, just flip through it, and you're going to be like, "Holy shit, this looks amazing! This is the way I want to watch this from now on." I think I will.
I was going to ask. I see it in the background there. I'm pretty sure that's what we're looking at. Is I wish for part 4 they just would have kept at least the bandage mask for a while. Because that one shot that he has when Loomis confronts him in the diner, is it the diner or is it a?
Yeah, it's like a gas station diner.
Yeah, that's the scene I'm looking at right now.
Favorite scene in the whole movie. He looks
amazing.
So intimidating with that.
Yeah,
like
that was a great way to start the movie.
If you follow it right from 2 and really lean into the whole thing that he's all burned up. It's
Mhm.
like, that makes perfect sense. I would have
Yeah.
loved it if like you would have seen it almost getting dirty and bloody throughout the movie, and then by the end he finds a Michael Myers mask and then he puts it on over it,
That would
and he
have been
doesn't even
so
take
epic.
the bandages off. It's like, oh, that
Yeah.
would have been so crazy.
That would have been
would've
so
wild.
epic.
This looks great.
I told you, it looks amazing, man. It's hard to find a bad image of the mask in that 35 millimeter print. It looks glorious.
I love it.
Jumping back to Jason, though, yeah, I mean, it's not as good as like, you know, the other masks from especially like the Paramount movies. But from that trailer, that Sweet Revenge trailer looks cool. But why are they doing a 13-minute movie? It's sort of weird what they're doing.
It is
Like,
strange, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it was a weird announcement.
We've been waiting for 16 years for a new movie. You have a crew on set on a campground. Can somebody go ahead and write us an hour and a half script and let's just go ahead and knock this shit out? I mean, we could knock this out in like, you know, a couple weekends probably if they wanted to. It's not freaking Citizen Kane. It's freaking Friday the 13th. So why it's got to be a 13-minute movie? That's going to be a jam-packed 13 minutes too, because that trailer,
they go a lot of places.
they go a lot of places. Yeah. So it looks like the whole movie's going to be like one chase scene. I don't know. But what's going to be the end result of that? Even if it's good, like what's going to be? Are we going to be talking about Sweet Revenge in 10 years?
I don't know. And that's the thing. Like so we were talking about this, and Luke is trying to remain more positive on this because we have been poo-pooing Jason Universe. Mostly my issue has been, and I'm not going to lie, I wasn't big on the mask with the renders, but then seeing it in hand, like I've seen a couple people actually take photos with it where they're lighting it properly, and the Sweet Revenge trailer, I don't hate it in that. Like I think it looks a bit better. It's just when you're like in just like hard light, it looks really animated. It looks really weird looking. I can't necessarily say what it is, but the thing that he said that I actually expounded upon and thought, if you're going to do it this way, I say go full hog and just do a VHS style Friday the 13th at this point. If Jason Universe, if we don't necessarily know how the rights are working out, if people, because again, people have claimed many different things, that Jason Universe can do everything after the first film. They can do all of it, but then some people have said, no, they can't. I'm like, just get directors like Mike P. Nelson, Stephen C. Miller, people who are fans, and just do like a Jason Universe can just produce little anthologies where it's like, so here's Mike P. Nelson's 15-minute version of what he would do with a Friday the 13th.
I know Damien
Here's
Leone
the other person, Damien Leone. Yes. Have a guest series come in, and then it's just, you know, the lost tapes of Crystal Lake or some silly shit that you put on streaming.
Yeah.
That would be cool. But yeah, it's like a 13-minute short film that's just going to kind of live and die probably within the week span that it's out.
And it's the first Jason thing, official Jason you're getting in 16 years.
It's almost going to suck if it's awesome. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be pissed. Like, damn, that was amazing. I want more. That's the problem.
The only thing, I was going to say that would be the follow-up is like, unless it comes out and it's amazing, and then within that week they're like, okay, Mike P. Nelson has announced as director, we're moving forward with a film. Because the other piece of this news was that at Comic-Con, this the head of Jason Universe, I didn't catch his name, but he kind of came out, and it's Robbie Bershmean, I believe. I apologize, I didn't know how to say his last name. He did make comments, and these are, again, just like I got upset with the whole NECA announcement, where it's like, we have action figures on the way. It's like, okay, why even say that? Just be like, okay, here, like, why'd we make that up? Why'd we build up to that?
That was crazy.
It's like he's doing it again, where he's like, we have a movie and a video game. We don't have a partner for either that we're willing to announce just yet, but they're coming. It's like, so you really don't have anything.
That announcement was a little like, it's happening.
It's like the Elder Scrolls 6 teaser that we got.
Yeah.
It's like, we just rendered that out for, Jesus, wasn't that 2018?
Yeah, it was 7 years ago.
Oh my
also, they didn't, that wasn't even a render of the Elder Scrolls 6 map. That was a Skyrim map that they put a texture over. They had nothing.
It just didn't feel like, like a media official announcement. Okay, we got a crew together. Yeah, we got a location scheduled. We got,
Doesn't even sound like
maybe
they
if
have
he
a
said,
script.
"Hey, we got an act," I think they got like a young child, but this is for the TV series, right? Like the
Yes,
Jason universe is a completely different thing.
it is.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
Because yeah, the TV show stuff I've been all about. Like I like the casting for Mrs. Voorhees. I think that's great. I'm real excited that we're at least getting a child Jason and an adult Jason from what it looks like. I really want them to lean into the part 2 look if they're gonna see him this season. I want him to be kind of like older, like kind of hillbilly-ish and make his way into it.
I
But
think part 2 is one of the best Jasons.
it
So
is
Yeah, me too.
one of the best in the franchise.
Scared the shit out of me.
Absolutely.
When he dives through that window, holy shit.
Yeah, but it's like it's one of those things for me, man, where it's like they have to start showing us something. And again, if this short film is great and it's not followed up by anything, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
It's like, that
maybe
was
they
cool.
got a plan. Maybe they know something we don't know, and maybe there's something great
hope.
coming, and we're just not prepared for it yet. I don't know. That's what I'm hoping.
I'll eat every word that I have said on this show so far about it, and I will just say, you got in Jason universe, I trust. If there's a movie and it looks great, and this short film is great, but again, it makes me concerned that it's like they are constantly just putting the cart before the horse. Because I said this before. It's like they announced Jason Universe. We missed like one Friday the 13th where they announced nothing. And now it just seems like every time a Friday the 13th like comes around on the calendar date and Bloody Disgusting and everybody starts running articles, Jason Universe is like, oh, fuck, that's right. We got to put something out. This will be happening eventually.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. That's all it's done. And it's like, dude, like you can't do that. Just don't say anything. Like,
don't say anything.
Announce a new box set or something. Like it's like just it's
it'd be hard to beat that Scream Factory box set.
It is hard to beat that Scream Factory box.
I think they've already met that goal. I mean, that Scream Factory box set's
pretty much perfect, unless you could get like 4Ks of it, but they're already 4K scans. They're just on regular.
They look great.
They do look great. And like, especially if you're using like a Blu-ray player that upscales, it's like, this is kind of already the perfect Friday the 13th box set.
It is. It is. I will say regarding the TV series, I predicted about quite a few months ago when they were just kind of ramping up. I was like, I guarantee you, adult Jason will be there, and they'll probably reveal the adult Jason at the end of the first season. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but we do know that they've announced an adult Jason. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to build up to people are going to be picking on young Jason. Pamela Voorhees is going to start, freaking out, getting pissed off, and we're going to bounce forward, and then he's going to be an adult. She's going to get killed. I think it's going to be a good season of TV. I think if they do it right,
I think
because
so
you got to
too.
have adult Jason eventually.
Because like if you look at it, say they do, 8 episodes, the first 2 episodes, it's like by end of episode 2, Jason drowns. And then episode 3 and 4, we've jumped forward. Now we've lived with Pamela a little bit. And I think what would be great is to show Friday the 13th, say it's the first movie, slightly altered, remade, but all from Pamela's perspective.
Yeah.
That'd be a great way to finish that series out. And then you're right? The teaser, even if it's just the last few minutes of the show, we see adult Jason come walking out of the water or something alluding to he's returning. And then season 2, now we have hillbilly Jason with the sack head and everything. It's like, I always thought that would be fine because you can always find little in routes and little ways to change things and do things, that are a little bit more original, but still following the trajectory that the original films have. Because I think true Friday the 13th fans, we love the progression, even though it was totally unplanned. But I personally love he's not there for the first one. It's his mom. Then he's a sackhead, and then he gets the hockey mask, and then he's undead. And it's like he's constantly getting more powerful as the films go on, even as they get more ridiculous. So,
have you guys ever noticed in the very first Friday the 13th, and somebody brought this up to me a while back, it's the only whodunit slasher that they don't really show the person that's the killer for the entire movie until the actual like last act. Most of the time the killer is planted in the movie in amongst a group of people or whatever. And you're saying, oh, it could be that person. Ooh, it could be. The Friday the 13th, the first movie, is the only movie I can think of where the killer just like walks right into frame. Okay, I'm here now. And then you're like, well, who is this old lady? Oh shit, she's the killer. It's a weird, it's a weird thing. It's like I've never seen that before in any other movie. And I think maybe that's part of the reason why I found Pamela so terrifying to me when I was young, is just because she's this really nice old lady.
Yeah.
And then when the switch flips, she can be downright terrifying, because she's not all there. She's crazy.
That's the idea that scared
you don't know
me
what
when I
she's
was a
gonna
kid.
do.
Yeah, was like I would have my grandmother who was like, a sweet 5'2" Irish lady,
Yeah.
and then this movie took someone who like she's got a nice sweater on and she looks
She makes
sweet.
cookies.
Why is she trying to kill this? That scared the
Look what
shit
you
out of me. when I
did
was-
to him.
Yeah, dude, it's scary.
And I think because that's the best part of that movie. That's what made that movie popular, because people forget that, I think, when they talk about Friday the 13th, because you hear all these
Mhm.
fans say, oh, the first one's not very good, but it's like, you got to remember when that
beginning,
movie came
but-
out, nobody even knew who the fuck Jason Voorhees was.
Yeah.
There was no hockey mask. This movie was very original for having this sweet old lady show up in the third act and be like, hey, I've been slaughtering children. How you doing? Like, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's commendable, and I think this series really has a shot at least showing like the progression of that, because that's all I really want to see now. I want to see how Pamela tried to cope with the death of her son, or how she didn't cope with it. I want to see that snap progress. I want to really build up why we should hate these teenagers, like why they should be little dirt bags and stuff. Like, that's what I would like. And I hope
I think
do it.
Linda Cardellini is perfectly cast.
I agree.
I can't think of
dude.
anybody better.
I love her so much. Like, even just like the look of her, just like the idea I have of seeing her in that blue sweater and everything, even if she's not going to be as old as she is in the original film, it's like she has that switch. And I think for people of my age too, like growing up with Scooby-Doo, I don't know, Evan, if you remember this, but like her being, obviously Velma, it's like she's always been that. She's been in the Avengers movies, always very sweet, very cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to see her play a very villainous character.
I remember her from Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, I forgot.
I want to
she's
get you a
even in
black cobra.
I had a nightmare about Velma when I was a very young child. I don't remember what prompted it, but she got these
A
really
nightmare?
She had these like sharp, pointy teeth and pulled out a gun, and I woke up and it scared
God
the
damn.
shit
Oh,
out of me.
wow.
I was like a child, like 5 maybe.
Okay, all right, Evan.
That's terrifying.
Slashes and Suits. He did bring up I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, that's
That
a
is
good
actually
point.
a good point.
That might be
yes.
the only other one.
This
He's
is a
like,
gentleman.
where'd this guy come from? And it was an old dude,
Yeah. And it's interesting to see what they're going to do with this series and everything Friday the 13th related, as that being my favorite franchise. Like, yes, I love Halloween, I love Nightmare, but Friday the 13th will always be my franchise when it comes to horror.
Yeah.
And I'm just ready for something decent.
Yeah, dude, I love
something
Friday.
good, like
Some days I'm more in the mood for Friday than I am for, I love that
summer?
apples and oranges. It's completely
Exactly.
different. And
In the summertime, I gotta throw it on.
in the summertime, it's just the funnest thing. And I can just throw on Friday movies just in the background and just go about my day and just have a blast. I love the music. I love the first movie. Like I never knew that there was an audience that didn't like the first Friday the 13th until I went on YouTube. I was shocked because that movie's freaking awesome. It's just it's like the first of its kind, really. After Halloween comes out. Okay, now let's up the ante with the kills and bring in Tom Savini to really just go wild. And back then, when that movie first came out, those kills freaked everybody out. It was like the Terrifier of its day, right?
I mean, the arrow going through Kevin Bacon's neck. I mean, he was a nobody at the time, but it's like,
Crazy.
it's still very shocking.
And we all have to give credit to Giallo movies that came out, a decade before that were already doing this shit, but nobody knew about it. But when it finally caught up a decade later in America, I think American audiences were just eating it up.
Yep. I feel like, I know some people will hate that I say this, but I feel like like American 80s slashers, they became like the corporatization of giallo horror in a sense, where it's
Yeah.
like, we're going to use all the blood. We're going to just put all of this in there. And it's like, it didn't start out that way. Because like
Nope.
Halloween, obviously we spoke about that, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, those 70s slasher movies, not very bloody. So
Nope.
it's like, once you kind of get into the 80s and everything gets hyper stylized, it's like, yeah, we're going to pull a little bit from the Italians over here. They're doing something cool with some blood. Let's do that.
I'm just thinking about like the early 80s slasher movies. I actually prefer My Bloody Valentine to the original Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
close. I mean, that's another one that I love to death.
I
Yeah.
love that movie so much. And again, to be fair, there's probably somewhat of a bias there because it was shot in my province, so there's like a cultural thing.
Canadian horror.
Yeah, it's a Nova Scotian horror movie, and it's very Nova Scotian.
It's classic though, man. I love the first My Bloody Valentine. It's just got such a creepy vibe to it.
I don't like to compare the two personally because I like them both for very different reasons, even though they're slasher. Like My Bloody Valentine is like a warm cup of like hot cocoa.
Yeah,
on like it's like, I love how that makes me feel. I love watching it every Valentine's Day.
For sure, the first movie has a cold tone.
It's just it's one of those movies. It's like, I don't know, because I feel very different when I watch Friday the 13th and My Bloody Valentine. It's like they're slashers, but they feel very different.
It's like one's the winter slasher and one's the summer slasher.
Yeah, because like it's the same thing with like Halloween. It's like, yeah, it's like Halloween feels different when you're watching it in October as opposed to any other time of the year. So it's good. It's good shit.
That opening of Halloween 4 is legendary.
Love it. Again, Luke and I talk about that all the time. Like,
just a warm blanket.
If I ever got the chance to make my own Halloween movie, I would open it like that. With those countryside Halloween shots.
That's what I think, not circling back to our Halloween David Gordon Green conversation, but like, that's a piece of it that like, I feel like Halloween Ends kind of missed for me a little bit. Was like, I thought they did a really good job about that stuff in the first and the second one, where it's like, and I know there's a lot more character stuff going on, but like, I felt like Haddonfield was alive at least in those first two, and then the third one, it just felt like, we're not even gonna bother with it. Like, it's like, I know the town's run down and people are kind of like, leaving because of all this, but it's like, we should have dove into that a little bit more. I feel
like fall to me.
No, it's like, I get it feels like fall. I'm just saying, like, I think that like they made the town and that feeling of Halloween less of a focus.
Yeah. Well, Innocent definitely has its own vibe. There's almost like a neon vibe going on, because you got the romance and everything between Allison and Corey, and it's just it's just a different vibe. It really is.
Some would say a Christine vibe.
Yeah, very, very Christine. For sure.
Luke's shitting his bricks right now. He's like, "What's going on? Who said that?"
That junkyard scene is so Christine. I love it.
We have a running gag with Luke because he's a huge Christine fan. I mean, great movie all through. But he was like getting very sick of everybody comparing Halloween Ends to Christine.
I mean, you can't help it.
You can't. And he's like, yeah, it is. He's like, I just wish everybody would stop bringing that up as like some mind-blowing point. He's like, everybody says that. It's like, so now we just rag on him all the time. We're just trying to find a way to bring in Christine to anything. So
Christine's
really just Carpenter, like that era of Carpenter, man. And the freaking, he was on a stride, I think starting with Halloween and then like the freaking Fog and then Escape from New York and The Thing and Christine. His body of work,
The Fog is one of the most underrated 80s horror movies.
Oh my god, dude!
It's such like a atmospheric.
Yeah, that's the word.
Slow burn.
Nobody would create atmosphere like Carpenter.
Assault on Precinct 13 is probably his most underrated movie in my opinion at this point. I feel like more people have come around to The Fog and like In the Mouth of Madness. I think more people need to talk about Assault on Precinct 13. Like, that's a very good movie.
You see what Brandon just said in chat?
Oh, I see. Yeah, he's a little shit starter. I see what he's doing. Nah, we love
Strangers
Brandon.
Chapter 2 better than In a Violent Nature. I mean, they're two totally. I love Strangers Chapter 2. So I might agree with you. Yeah.
Now wait, I'm assuming that he's referring to.
Wait.
He's
referring to the new one.
I'm sorry.
Pray at Night is very good.
I'm thinking of Pray at Night.
Super underrated movie, gets way too much hate. I think it's fucking great. But look, obviously we're talking hypotheticals here. Neither of these movies are out yet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident that In a Violent Nature 2 is going to be the better movie.
Dude, I didn't even know that there was a sequel to In a Violent Nature coming
Yeah.
out. Nice.
They just started filming last week or 2 weeks ago now?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, they
it's-
laid some breadcrumbs in the first movie for a sequel for sure.
I loved In a Violent Nature. I thought it was fantastic.
Yep. Everybody knows my take on that. I was so into everything. The last 10 minutes are a little bit of a stain for me. I'm like, I get what you're doing. I know the subtext, the point. I just felt like, why did we slow the movie all the way down to a grinding halt just to do this? It's like, I love that it's a little different and that he got his, his little talisman back and he left. But like, dude, like we were building up so much. He was hacking that guy to death. I'm like, I want this thing to end with like a Friday the 13th part 2 window explosion. And that's what I'm hoping to do with this one.
Well,
I hope this one, they've proved that they can do an art house slasher. Now let's just have fun with Johnny.
Yeah.
He's the closest thing to Jason we've had in a
like
minute.
he said he wants to do different things with it. So I don't think it's going to be exactly the same sort of thing. But I mean, Strangers Chapter 1 is one of the worst movies I've seen in many years.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
So I'm pretty confident that In Violent Nature 2 will probably be better.
It's just there's no need for the Strangers Chapter 1. It's a
so
watered down
annoying,
version of the Strangers.
The whole point, the whole time they were leading up to it, they were all like, this is not a remake of the first movie. This is like a new thing. We're not just retreading the first. And then it was just a
remake of the first movie. A really bad one. Frustrating.
I'm doing a video on it soon, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm the guy that cuts slack in terms of character decisions in horror movies because
same.
It happens. And sometimes we need them to happen to get the end result. So I usually cut them some slack, but then I think they just went too far with the Strangers Chapter 1 with some of the character decisions.
It has
just like,
one of the most egregious character decisions I've ever seen, where like she sees someone, I can't remember if she hears him or sees someone outside the window, and then looks around for a second, doesn't see them, and then lights up a joint. Like, you are the dumbest.
Yeah.
There's someone stalking outside your house. You know there is, but you're like, nah.
Like, what are you doing? Stupid.
I think that's a perfect guiding point into this little piece. This will probably be our last story for the day, because we don't have to talk about Frankenstein if Evan wants to stay away from the photos. I understand.
I can say I'm very excited for Frankenstein.
It looks great.
Honestly,
if you haven't seen the photos, it looks amazing.
I'll be there.
Huge old school monster movie. That's my jam. I just got Nosferatu.
Yeah, love Nosferatu.
Yeah, it was my favorite movie of last year. But I'm also a Robert Eggers stan, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, me too. But, The Witch. Oh my god,
The Lighthouse is my favorite still.
Yeah, Lighthouse is great.
Yeah, but yeah, like Nosferatu came out, Wolfman came out. I didn't like it, but I have the thing and I need to rewatch it. I just bought the 4K the other day, so
gotcha.
I maybe do a rewatch on it. And now we're getting Frankenstein, and I think Del Toro is like perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Like that's such, I don't know, feels good. So anyway,
he'll nail it. But I'm very, very mixed. I want to give Rennie Harlan here the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know if you gentlemen have looked into these comments, but they are a bit concerning. Luke and I were not very pleased about the comments he made at San Diego Comic-Con this past weekend, because Rennie Harlan.
What did he say? What did he say?
So he addressed the reshoots of the film. They went back, and instead of calling them reshoots, his producing partner said they are enhancements.
Oh no.
He says they said it's purely from listening to the audience. The first movie came out and got a lot of feedback from fans and regular moviegoers. We realized that while we had to craft this 4.5 hour movie, we had broken it into 3 chapters. There was definitely room for learning from the audience's experience and listening to the fact that the audience was interested in some things that we did and not so much into others. One of those facts, and this is the kicker, that people wanted to know more about for sure, was to know more about the stranger's backstory.
Yeah, you think?
That's what he took away from that.
Well, that's
is we
how they
want to know
marketed the
more
first
and
movie.
more.
Find out how the strangers became the strangers. Nope.
It was
And
a
people
parallel
were
timeline.
upset
It
about
wasn't
that
the
at
same thing.
People were upset about that when they put that in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, how can you say that's what they
makes
wanted?
The strangers scary is that we don't know anything about them.
Yeah,
We
that is true.
Watch that first movie.
That's my scare. That's my fear, is that we will find out about them, and then
They're
it'll
going
take
to
something away
demystify the
from
whole
them.
thing.
Mhm.
I mean, like the first movie was so terrifying because you get to the end of it and it's the most simple thing. Why are you doing this? Because you were home.
Yeah, because you were home.
Bone
That's
chilling.
it. That's what made it. Yeah, that's what made it bone chilling. True.
Yeah.
Then
The producer Courtney Solomon. This is the last piece that will be interesting for you. Added that the second film in the trilogy was finished, completed with color correction, sound mix, and visual effects when the studio granted additional funds for, her words, enhancements. The Strangers trilogy was originally filmed simultaneously over the course of 52 days in Slovakia. There you go. Sorry. But the additional shoots for the second and third installment brought the shoot days to a total of 80 days.
Damn.
That's a lot of time to go back and work on a 52 to 80 days.
That's reshooting the movie. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Yes.
How bad do you think Chapter 2 had to be for a studio to have a completed movie and be like, no, we're going to give you money.
Oh, you want to know?
Yeah,
Here it comes. Harlan also commented Strangers Chapter 2 similarities to Halloween 2. Other hospital set slasher sequels, which fans were quick to point out from the trailer. I have to confess, says Harlan, that I, of course, saw Halloween 2. But when I was making this movie, I didn't remember that the whole thing took place in a hospital. Swear to God, I'm sure it was somewhere in the back of my mind, but it wasn't intentional, he adds. We felt it was a fantastic environment to explore. We're going to explore this hospital in some new and very frightening ways. So I think that confirms everybody's fears. I know we did a big spoiler talk between Jake, Evan, and I on this when it came out. We were all pretty certain based off that post-credit scene that this was just going to be Strangers Chapter 2 in the hospital.
Yeah.
Looks like they've, like Lee just said, reshot the whole movie so it's not that, because that would have been a nightmare. Oh my God.
And I have no clue what this movie's going to be, like, as far as being good or not. I mean, my guess would be it's going to be bad.
No faith in this thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just don't have any faith in it, and I hope it's great. You know, we'll all be there. We're horror fans, but
yeah, of course, yeah.
They got nowhere to go with up. You know, I guess that's the guiding light here. But man, it's I think Rennie Harlan, man, he's a weird director, dude, because he's had a lot of hits and a lot of misses for me. So
The Long Kiss Goodnight is one of the best 90s action movies ever, in my opinion. I love how that works. I love Deep Blue Sea. I'm a huge shark film guy.
Yeah, Deep Blue Sea is great.
But he's very hit or miss.
Yeah.
It was a weird movie.
Oh yeah, The Exorcist.
Yeah, I mean,
my God, his Exorcist
was a weird situation
horrible.
Beginning in Dominion, but yeah, his movie sucked.
Yeah, it sucked. Like, that's a bad Exorcist movie.
Where she is running down the tunnel towards him, I was howling with laughter, which is not how I should feel watching The Exorcist.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, Brandon's in here. He's a defender of Chapter 1, and he's in here. Oh boy, Rennie, what happens in Chapter 3? And he's like, he also directed Legend of Hercules with Callan Lutz. You know, you're not building a very good case here, Brandon. I don't know. I think In a Violent Nature 2 has a bit of a chance to really blow us out of the water here. But I don't know. To me, I guess this wouldn't be as like upsetting to me or just like frustrating to hear these comments had they just taken the L and just been honest with us. And we're like, yeah, we kind of were going to go in a different direction with this before, but we heard your feedback. We heard what everybody said, and we decided we're going to reshoot this. We're going to redo it, and we're just going to run with it. And we're going to move the ball forward with a fresh idea. I would have respected the hell out of that. But to tell me, I don't know, people were just comparing our other movie to Halloween 2, I had no clue that movie took place in a hospital. Like, what the fuck do you think I am? 5 years old?
Like, that horror movie of all time. What are you talking about?
Ugh.
Here's what I think. I think they did all these reshoots to reshoot the whole movie and to end it in part 2. That's what I think, because I think
Maybe.
the reception of this movie from the audience is going to be much like the first one, or at least that's what they're probably thinking. It's going to be like the first one, which wasn't that great. It might have made money at the box office, very little if it did, but I can't see them going forward for a third movie if this movie just bombs reception wise.
Yeah.
You know,
That's probably a
I
very
just-
I
good
think
play.
Chapter
Yeah.
1 did well financially, if I
Yeah.
recall.
Wasn't it the highest grossing horror movie of 2024 for a while?
It did pretty well. So
That's insane to me.
I know.
But that happens sometimes. Sometimes you have a movie that does really well financially, but you can't find two people that like it. You know what I mean? It's just weird. And I think part of it's because the movie cost like $5 million or something like that. to
Something
make.
like that. I mean, they were able to shoot 3 movies back to back, he says.
Yeah.
So
I will never
So
forget
it's gonna
walking-
make the money back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't forget walking out of the screening of that, and then I went to check the group chat with me, Dylan, Alex, and Luke, because I was like, I know Dylan just saw this too. And I opened my phone and I just see a message from Dylan that says, "What the fuck was that?"
Yep. That's what I said.
Yeah.
we've had there's been a couple of those times when we walk out of movies seeing them, because like Evan usually gets there a little bit before us nowadays, but like it's usually he's gonna go in first and we're gonna be right behind him if it's opening night.
Or like an hour or two usually.
Difference usually, yeah. And it's like it's so funny to just see our reactions, because it's like one of the big ones that surprised me. I know we just brought it up last week, or last show, so I won't harp on it. Was Maxine. I walked out of that. Evan didn't say anything. I don't think at first, or you were just popping in to say, "Oh, have you guys seen Maxine yet?"
I didn't want to
And
spoil anything for you.
I was like, "Oh, it's great." I was like, "Yeah, I enjoyed it," but he said something like, "It was really disappointing." I thought he was being sarcastic. I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, whatever, buddy." He's like, "No, legitimately, that movie sucked," and I was like, "What? No
Yeah.
way!"
I
Like,
still
It did
don't like
live up. I think the expectation for Maxine was just huge because Pearl and X are just glorious.
And
Oh,
they
yeah.
fit together so well. Maxine felt completely disconnected.
And I agree with you, Evan. I did go back and give it another watch at home here, and I actually found myself, I guess part of it is just being more forgiving when I was watching it and just enjoying Maxine as a character and
Sure.
this particular chapter of her life,
Sure.
and trying to, instead of like wrapping up a trilogy, because I think that was my expectation too when I watched it. It was like, that's how you're going to end it? But I think I just enjoyed it the second time more for just the dialogue and Maxine as a character being as fun as she is. And there's some good stuff in there, but yeah, it's definitely the weakest of the trilogy, but I still, as a trilogy, I think it's still fun now.
I have
Glad
them
I give it another chance, I guess.
I may need to watch it again, but it's the only one of the trilogy I haven't bought. Like, I still haven't bought
Yeah.
the Blu-ray of Maxine.
Dude, I was pissed when I came out of that
Yeah.
movie for the first time. I was just like, fuck.
I've had zero urge to revisit it, and like I love the other two. X is my
Yeah.
favorite.
Me too. Same.
Pearl, I
I
think.
think you should give it another chance. I really do.
should.
It's a fun movie. And here's here's a little anecdote for you too. I did not like Kevin Bacon at the first watch. I loved him the second watch, if that makes sense. So
I've only seen the movie once. He was definitely a bright side for me. I was really positive on the movie, and I still am. I definitely, the biggest thing for me that I was all for the second I saw it was this was not a very satisfying climax. It felt like it's good that her story's wrapped up, and I like where it ends for Maxine, but I really felt like this movie was I think the best way to put it is the ending, the ending villains, especially the people that they built up and were really building up
that's
in the
the
trailers.
biggest problem for everybody.
It was like, okay, that wasn't very surprising.
It
That wasn't
feels like
very
they had,
much of a twist. It was like we all kind of expected her dead.
Yeah.
You know,
It feels like they had like 9 different ideas that they wanted to try and explore in the movie, and they just stuffed them all in there without any one of them getting like fleshed out to a satisfying degree. So like even isolated from the rest of the trilogy, I just found the movie itself structurally to be a complete unfocused mess. But again, only seen it once, and I should rewatch it.
I do like that all 3 movies feel very different. Like,
Yes.
all three of them.
Yeah.
did. And I think that's a good thing. It would have sucked if it would have felt more like Pearl or more like X, and then you got two movies that
That's
are
true.
kind of off kilter to the other one. So all three of them feel very different, which is a good thing, I think.
Yeah, because like everybody has different favorites. Like we have people in here saying Pearl. Like even Brandon said Maxine's his favorite. And I know for Evan, X is his favorite. Pearl is my favorite. Now I think that's the best part about it is everybody has a different one, but we can all agree it's like this is a very solid like watch. Like as a horror fan, we were eating pretty good, even if it didn't end the best. It's like I still think those first two movies, the fact that we have them, it's like I'm all for a so-so third film because these two are so good.
Yep.
Evan, when you watch Maxine again, let me know immediately what you thought, okay?
I'll shoot you a message, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Heck yeah.
Curious. Very curious.
But all righty, guys. I think that's a good enough spot to end it.
Yeah.
We left on some Rennie Harlan news about how he's screwing up strangers. And you know, that is what it is. He's got a movie that we've got two movies. He's got a shark movie coming out soon and a movie about killer orca whales. And I love orca.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like I'm hoping that he turns a new leaf with those, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we shall see. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the show. Lee, thank you so much, man, for coming on. This was honestly
amazing. Guys, this is a blast. Seriously, this is so fun. Too easy.
I'm glad that you had fun because we definitely would love to have you back on. And I mean, like this is like Evan said at the beginning, I try not to over conflate myself like this because I feel like I do this every time at the start of an interview or a collab, but I've been watching you for a long time, man, and it's an honor to sit down with you and get to chat with you and get to know you a little bit and talk some horror. So thank you, sir.
Likewise, man. I really enjoyed chatting with you guys.
Awesome.
Like-minded folk.
Of course. And I guess we'll start with you, sir. What can the audience look forward to seeing from you next here? What's on the docket?
I'm thinking about doing a bigger video for A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. I love that movie to death.
Dude,
great movie.
One of the most underrated slasher sequels
I love it so much. And I've always loved that movie to death. So I've been wanting to give it like the revisited treatment and go a good 30, 45 minutes and just break it open. Because there's a lot to break open with that movie. Let's be real. And
creepy.
Yeah, and I love Mark Patton as a final guy. I think he's one of the best final guys out there.
The idea of body snatching with Freddy Krueger,
it's great.
It's like one of the best ideas they've ever had for that character. And every time I've ever because as a creative, I've gone back and done it. I think all of us have. We've all sat there and thought, this is how I would remake Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. That concept always lives in my head rent free of like, I would love to see that revisited again because that was so scary in that movie.
Pool scene too, man. You are all my children.
Yeah, I hadn't seen Part 2 since like my early teens. And then Night Watch Zone asked me to come on his show and talk about it. So I was like, oh, I got to rewatch this thing because I haven't seen it forever. And I rewatched it. And in my head, like the whole time I had thought like, oh, Part 2 is like bad because that's how it was talked about. And I rewatched the movie and I was like,
it's amazing.
Shit. This is incredible.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a hankering to go back and we didn't even talk about it. Brandon brought it up. Quick little mention that they announced the standard edition for the Nightmare on Elm Street. So we know we're getting the Steelbook version and we're getting this one with digital codes, which is cool. So I always appreciate that when I can have it digitally, even if I don't technically own it.
Are you guys getting the box set, the Steelbook box set?
I want to.
I have a collection already.
Yeah, me too.
On Blu-ray.
I might get it though. I don't know.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I love that all of the transfers are getting done and that Warner Brothers and everybody's putting all that forward. But I said this a couple shows ago, I'm just holding off, I think, because I know that a boutique label is going to get that within the next 5 years.
Can you imagine an Arrow release? For
Arrow, Scream Factory,
get the remake,
one of those.
To actually get a complete Nightmare box set?
I'm not the Steelbook guy I used to be too. Like I used to be really into Steelbooks, and for some reason, like recently, I'm just not. I'd rather have the actual slipcover case 4K
or like
the Steelbook.
Criterion release, like the way they package their releases is great.
It depends for me. It's like normally my horror like Scream Factory, I've been upgrading all of mine to 4K Steelbooks because I think they look beautiful. And to be honest, Steelbooks for me are about convenience. If I can walk into a store and get one, or I can pre-order it and guarantee I'm gonna get it, I'll get it.
Yeah.
But like, if I have to go back in the day, like how I did for Marvel Steelbooks, if I have to go to like 3 different Best Buys
Jesus,
to hunt
I know,
this shit
man.
down,
Yeah.
I'm not fucking
I
doing
was
it.
there.
No.
I feel your pain.
Oh my god! Back in the like Guardians of the Galaxy, Mad Max, that 2015 era will always haunt me with Steelbooks
Yeah,
because like,
I got the Mad Max one too. Back
see,
then. Yeah.
I had to get that one off eBay, like, and I
Mhm.
paid double for it because I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
dude, this
I've been
fucking
there.
It's after the Halloween
sucks.
Kills Steelbook. I paid
Yeah.
a super price for it. So Lee, you got your Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 video you're working on.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I think I'll leave it at that. I mean, I got Together. I'm seeing Together tomorrow night. So I'm looking forward to that one. That one's high
I think-
on my radar. Really
I think
curious.
Luke and I are supposed to go see that tomorrow morning. I think. I
Nice.
think they're showing it. I think like for some reason our theater's showing it at like 10 a.m. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, cool, thank God, because I really hate going in like the evenings or like midday when it's like
Yeah.
I have to get a bunch of stuff because I still have to like I'm working from home, so it's like I have to cook dinner and do stuff and get stuff because my wife's working. So I'm like, I want to make sure she's good. So I hate like ditching halfway through the day and then like she comes home to nothing. So
No, I feel you on that.
oh, it's so good. All right, Gracie's already seen
Good.
it, so I'm
no,
excited.
you're
I've heard great things.
I've heard great
so-
things. Yeah.
And then we have
I'm looking forward
Weapons
to
next
it.
week.
Yeah, Weapons, dude. Oh my god.
Oh my God. Yes.
I've
Weapons.
avoided all the trailers for. I've done a very
That's
good
this
job.
year's long legs. That's what I say.
I think so. I'm worried that it will be, but also I feel like that spot already got taken by 28 years later. I did not expect people
Yeah.
to be that upset with that movie. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh man.
I
But
love Long Legs. I'm still on the Long Legs love letter train.
Oh, I love long legs for sure.
Dr. Wolfula perfectly, like he took the words out of my mouth. Like I made a whole video on it and I couldn't have worded it better than he did, where he basically said it was just like a weird Twin Peaks spinoff. And I'm like,
Mhm.
yes, that's it.
Yes, that's it.
exactly what I like about it.
He's
I
right.
dig it.
Yep.
I dig it. Alrighty. Well, I think that's gonna wrap us up here. So
Yeah.
Evan, any last pieces you want to drop before we pop off?
No, I mean, I don't imagine this video will perform excessively well. So when the Beau is Afraid video drops, if anyone watching this can give a watch to the Beau is Afraid video, I would like it to do okay because it's a long.
Oh, I'm sure it will. There's a lot to unpack in that movie.
Hopefully, yeah.
I think you'll be surprised. There's a lot more
it'll do
fans of
well.
that than I was
Trust me.
anticipating.
I hope
Yeah.
so. I hope so.
I
We'll
put
see.
that on my anxiety movie list, like movies that give you anxiety.
Oh yeah,
And yeah, that was one of those ones where it was like a lot of comments were, "I was afraid it's so good. It's so underrated." So
Lee-
this, so I'm like, you might get that.
I keep meaning to ask you. Behind you there, is that a Black Christmas remake on Blu-ray?
Oh yeah.
I could only
I
find
got
a
a couple.
DVD of that one. I couldn't
Hold
find
on,
it
let me
on
show you
Blu-ray.
something here. And it's the Canadian release, actually. But hold on,
Oh,
I haven't been able to
sorry to
find.
hear that, Gracie.
that's the
haven't been able to
Canadian
find the
release.
Blu-ray of that
But
one.
Nice.
a buddy of mine sent me. Let me see if I got it right here. Hold on.
I'll have to. I have to track that down. I have it on DVD. I don't even like
Yeah.
that movie, but I want the Blu-ray of it.
Oh, dude, I love this movie to death. Yeah, here it is. A buddy of mine, he makes these custom, and he made this 3-disc set
Oh
that
no,
has
way.
3 different versions of the movie. It's insane.
That's
Look at
sick.
With art
Yeah.
and everything?
With art and everything. Yeah,
Jeez.
he's amazing. Rick. Yeah, my buddy
That is
Rick.
incredible.
Yeah, man,
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's
I
a good dude. We've known each other long before I did YouTube. Actually, like
Nice.
15 years. And he sent me a Hellraiser custom box set one time, and he's
The
working
one
on
that
a-
This is
I
one of
can't
my
say what he's
favorite
working on,
ones.
but he's gonna send me a copy of it. So it's something that's recent that we've all been talking about. So yeah,
Okay.
The one that I like a lot that I see on Etsy all the time is the Myers house for
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
of the
Oh, I've
4Ks
seen
that
that.
came out. Yeah, it's like I'm like, if only somebody would do that. Like I would
Mhm.
totally pay good money for that.
My
And
issue
like,
with something like that is I know there's going to be more of them. So then when they come out, I'm going to have to,
mhm.
I don't know, figure something else out.
Well, did you see on Etsy somebody did covers of David Gordon Green's trilogy to match the 4Ks for the previous
Yep.
ones? I bought those. I have those.
Hell yeah. See
Yeah.
that I love that stuff. It's like I think it's just a collector in me. I want the
Yeah, me too.
consistency, but it's
Me
like
too.
those and then we will wrap up. But like those 4K covers
Sorry, guys.
that they did. Oh, you're fine.
No,
It-
It's always my fault.
No, I mean
It's
we
fun.
love talking about this shit, so
Yeah.
it's like we get
Yeah,
sucked
man,
in
nerd
so
talk.
easy. But like, yeah, those 4K covers they did, Scream Factory for the Halloween series, so good. All of them
my
were
God,
so
amazing.
beautifully done.
Amazing.
So it's a big win. But
I find it annoying that up to, I think it's up to 5 or 6, they're one size, and then you get to the last 3.
Yeah.
and they're all
The
in a
last,
big box
I
set.
think there's a
Slightly bigger.
trilogy, like the Dimension trilogy
They're
or
slightly
something like
bigger.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. I know it's going to happen eventually, and it will happen the second I buy them all individually.
course.
But I'm waiting for the box set. I know
Yeah.
it's coming.
Yeah.
It's got to. You got to do it. Don't do it
I'm
to me.
rooting
It'll be
for
the
you,
first
Dylan.
time. It'll be the first time Scream Factory's putting out the David Gordon Green trilogy, and I will buy it again for the 5th time.
Can we
So,
please get the original ending for Halloween 2018?
Yep.
that'd be sick, dude.
And
Oh
an
my
all-encompassing documentary would be good too, like a look
Yes.
back 5 years later. That'd be awesome.
Let's get a Crystal Lake memories of that again, and
Yes.
just now update it, because it's like we're getting to the point, especially if Friday the 13th picks up, and say we actually do get installments over the next 5-10 years. Like, we'd be looking for a refresh on that. So
Mhm.
Yep.
I love those docs. So
Oh,
All
yeah.
all right, for real this time, guys. We are on our way out. So until next time, I'm Dylan Newell.
I'm Evan.
And I'm Lee.
And that's all we got. I really got to remind people that.
Do the horse shit, gonna do it live. Cause Splattercast kick it every day they live. Splattercast, we smash your ass. 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 Splattercast, we smash your ass.